Hey. Hey, Crystal. So today we're working on well, as it says in the title, a reference sheet. Um, and funny enough, it's actually, by, Cloudy Cat again, or Food Drops, as they go by on Twitter. Actually, let's change this model's proportions real fast. That should be perfect. Okay. I just got my Chris Tale soundtrack in the mail today. Awesome. So, this character right here is named, Pride. They are, um, an Elden Ring OC, I believe. Um, but yeah, I don't really know a lot about her, just yet. Just that she's a tall woman who, uh, you know, is fully clothed. Um, very little skin is shown. Um, and yeah. Oh, and I think Brian just joined us.
Me.
That he did. Okay. Yeah, I was just telling them about this character I'm drawing here. Her name is Pride. She's a Cloudy Cat's OC
Nice.
for
And,
Elden Ring.
Nice. And I was just telling BJ that I am officially a war criminal.
Wait, why is that?
Because I decided to go on to Unite and choose violence.
Okay, that would do it.
Yeah, I had a task where I had to play at least one game as an attacker, and since Greninja is one, I'm like, you know what? I might as well get this knocked out. And Aroma Park was in rotation, which is the only good map.
So why do you keep playing Unite?
Because I'm a masochist.
Apparently, because both you and BJ know the game is bad, but yet you keep playing it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, to be fair, BJ does have a new series that he's doing that is about Unite.
I think he made a mistake.
Yeah, I mean, yes.
I don't mean to dunk on, another facet of his livelihood, but it sounds like I did, but
But yeah, basically, yeah, Aroma Park was in rotation, and then we were pretty much dominating them for like the very beginning of the match, and then Regigigas appeared with most of the enemy team already dead, and it's like, okay, so the typical thing is that, okay, so now that the enemy team can't really contest us for Regigigas, we can all just go over there and clean it up. But I decided to choose the evil option, and I spawn camped.
Oh.
And it worked. Our Aegis Slash is able to solo Regigigas by itself. While I was spawn camping.
I know I already quoted this yesterday while we were watching Demon Slayer, but I'll just say it again. In a fair fight, I'd beat you. Well, that's not much incentive for me to fight fair now, is it?
Yeah. And the funny part is, Jordan, one of the Pokemon I kept constantly on killing all the time, it was a Hoopa.
Fucking Hoopa, you deserve it.
It's like, suck a Hoopa. I'm a water dark type. Your ghost type means nothing.
Also, I was a little worried because today is my dad old boss is my because today my dad's old boss, who's a good friend of ours, had just announced that he and his partner are taking care of a baby and might adopt him. So we're going out to meet the little guy. I was worried because I thought I would have to miss most of your live streams today. I mean, it's fine. I will admit, I am a little sleep deprived today, so I don't think I'm going to be streaming for long, but I thought I'd at least get some progress done for my client. If nothing else. In terms of other news, though, I did get a couple more pages done for the Celtic comic. I've still got a long way to go before I fully finish it, but I'll say it's half done right now. There's just a sequence I have to redo because I don't think the sketches do it justice right now, so I figured, to hell with it. I'm gonna redo some segments. And like it's my comic. I can do that. But yeah, with the advent of these Clip Studio models, it's gonna make, you know, choreographing so much easier. Because, you know, I have all these things, these sequences in my head. It's just, you know, executing them without a reference is a whole nother story, which is why I'm so glad Clip Studio has, like, tools like this. Is it cheating? Maybe, but work smarter, not harder. And it's not necessarily cheating if it works for you. I'm just mainly trying to figure out a way to make sure that, you know, these are still cartoony characters, so I don't want to go photorealistic, but I do want the proportions to fit. Like, right now I'm trying to find a happy medium. Like, yeah, I'll still use the models because they're super duper helpful. I mean, look at this. But I also don't want to cross that threshold where it's just, like, tracing. Know what I mean? Like, the poses are mine.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Yeah, it's like more so the model is just there to like give you an idea of like what it should look like, and then you just you know, put your own art style to it.
Yeah, granted. As you can see, hang on, let me demonstrate this real fast. As I actually did show Crystal, you can actually change the model's proportions. So if you want a more you know, well-built character, you put the slider up. But if you want a more rotund character, you put it to the right, thin left, and then average just right there. So yeah, there are workarounds. Hey, Big Mac.
Also, by the way, Jordan.
What's up?
So, TP may have decided what class that he wants to run for my one-shot.
Oh, yeah. For his not Eevee character.
Yeah.
What is it?
So he is considering possibly playing Bard.
Oh, okay.
For one reason only, because I told him Bards get access to Polymorph.
Which Eevee is slightly known for.
Yeah.
In a way.
So he can get his evolutions that way.
Yeah. That's a great way of looking at it.
And also, if you think about it, Bardic Inspiration can be the equivalent of Helping Hand.
No, you're totally right. That's exactly what it is. So, good on him for deciding a class. I'm kind of dreading, going into Druid because, I did decide what class I was going to be for Boone's one-shot that he's running on the 9th. I won't say what it is just in case, but for your one-shot in particular, I'll be happy to be playing as Pyraku, but I'm terrified because I'm going into the hardest class in the game. But at the very least, it sounds like Star Druid isn't that hard to master.
And then you get Marisha Raid.
Don't jinx me. Although, something tells me it's already happened. Yeah. Oh, Chanton's art, hey! Funny, because I usually think of the poses in my head as I draw my characters out. Like, there's a word for it. I don't think I quite have it, but there is something called, like, it has something to do with execution. Mainly, like, the name is escaping me at the moment, but essentially it's like you have all these ideas in your head, but you have trouble executing them. I don't know what the word for it is, but it's a thing that exists. What? Thank you for the 100 bits, Big Mac. Okay. What do you guys think about Popeye recently acknowledging Luffy's current power on his Twitter account? I didn't know that was a thing.
I've never heard of this.
Well, we heard of it now, but can you give us like a Cliff Notes version of what he said? Wait, those are daggers, right? They look like daggers. But anyway, back to the whole thing I was talking about. It's like, I can do it, but usually, I do find that without a reference, my poses do come out warped. Like, okay, hang on, let me demonstrate real fast. So, I'm gonna draw Fira. Just a very, very rough version of her. So, here's her hair. Here's her, braids in the back. This is very, very rough, but it's mainly to get my point across. Sorry, I gave her, Luz's, mouth from, like, the Owl House. Like this instead of this. It's like I get to the head, and then when it comes to the body, it's just like like I can nail the shapes. Fira is a very round lady. This is like super gestural. Oh, I see someone typed in the chat. I will check that in a second. Yeah, super mega rough. Anyway, let's see. My phone alarm went off. What did you want me to give you? The short version of that Popeye thing. Because we didn't see it. Oh, look at the... I mean, you could... I mean, thank you, but you could have just typed in the, you could have just typed in, the chat right there. Oh. I'm so confused. Yeah, Big Mac just posted the context. But yeah, it's like, I can do it. It's just, it's so much easier with references because, that way you can, I can execute things better. There we go. Uh, hey, Mr. Maniac, and I'm assuming that's a Half-Life reference. Also, Brian, where'd you go? Miles, where'd you go? Interesting trousers. By the way, I got my copy of Kirby and the Forgotten Land. Awesome. Yeah, like, I don't know where Brian went. Like, he just went quiet after a while. I guess dinner got ready for him, and, like, he went BRB quietly. Like a silly boy. But, yeah, like, so, Big Mac, no, Mr. Maniac, it's been a while. um, I guess you've been getting more hours at work? Okay, that makes sense. I'm not mad at you for it, it's just, I was curious, you know? But glad to know you're fine. Without spoiling the game, it's adorable, that's all I'll say. Not hard for a Kirby game, but good to know that it's still very Kirby-like in that way. Now, I believe the boots are somewhat wrapped in a way. Okay, so more or less we got the front pose posed out. So let's go ahead and do the profile view. So that's not how we move the model. Ugh. Turn. And then slide. Maybe turn a little more. There we go, that's perfect. Change the... Oh, wait, no. Oh, speaking of, I'm working another long shift tomorrow. Excuse me for a second, Steph, so I just scream at the top of my lungs for 2.7 seconds before returning. That's a specific amount of time, but understandable. So you're enjoying your work at least, right? Because sometimes I'm just, doing a conjecture here. It seems that you're more annoyed that you're working than, actually having a bit of a modicum of enjoyment for it. Which you don't have to love what you're doing, but you have to at least, tolerate it, I'd say. Okay. Because if you're not exactly enjoying what you're doing, then, by all means, don't feel bad for, wanting to, look for other things while you're, doing what you're doing. And I think I hear Brian coming back.
Yep, I just put some chicken in the cookings.
Okay, so that's fine. I'm guessing you stepped away without wanting to interrupt whatever I was doing.
Yeah.
Brian, you are too sweet for your own good sometimes. You know that?
And then other times I'm a war criminal.
That is true, yes.
There's something wrong with me.
Yeah, you're playing Pokemon Unite.
Well,
there's your problem.
Found problem number one. Yeah, we found problem number one.
It's like, well, there's your problem. You're playing a subpar MOBA game. It's like, okay, I understand that I believe in some sick way you guys do have fun with Unite, but at the same time, if it sucks, it sucks. Let's zoom in here.
It's funny though, because it's like even people who practically play League for a living, they're whenever asked, so how do we get into League? Step 1, don't.
Like, is it like picking a fight with a tank? I mean, the tank thing is, well, you can take the advice more seriously, but
yeah, but it's just more so like MOBA communities tend to just grow extremely toxic,
which is like fucking weird, but all right.
Yeah, and it mainly does just have to go with the fact that it is the unfortunate state with some games where, like, it's clear that some games are just made strictly with like team-based play in mind. And people, regardless of knowing that, just tend to want to act like, they're the big shot of the game. Like, oh, I'm the star here. I'm going to do everything. And then they're the reasons why their team ends up losing because they don't want to be a team player.
Yeah, which is kind of what happens with, that's exactly why we have so many people with main character syndrome in D&D, or any tabletop RPG game, really. Where, despite the fact that, at least for D&D, that the whole thing is meant to be a team-based experience, you're, making a story together with your friends, some people just want to kill everything in sight and be murder hobos and have no consequences.
Yeah. I don't know, be a psychotic kid and tell people to throw themselves on people's blades.
Yeah, Crit Crab actually talked about that exact scenario.
Yeah.
Crit Crab, if you guys don't know, is he's a great D&D YouTuber. He goes over D&D horror stories, not like D&D like D&D horror stories
Not
in the
D&D,
way of
yeah, not D&D like Nightmare on Elm Street horror.
no, it's more like, oh my god, there are actually people this bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, he covers the usual main character jerks. He also covers some people who can't keep it in their pants. Sometimes he even covers people who got arrested for assaulting the DM or another player. Yes, those actually happened. Anyway, sorry about that. Chanazard. Fun fact, when I drew Sheik for my Smash tribute, normally I would draw the details of her Sheik outfit, but I went with something different. I went with an outline of Sheik's body shape, and then filled it in with the details. That's another valid way of doing it. Really, Brian? Wow, I didn't know Fallout was a MOBA. Oh, shout out to that one wolf from SNG Curse of Strahd Session 1 who's in the background right now. It's actually been a while. What wolf are they? What wolf are you talking about? Is it one of the wolves that you guys were fighting?
Probably.
Oh, Chanazard, you got a shiny Whirlpool. Awesome.
Yee.
Oh yeah, so this wolf.
Okay, but yeah, Mr. Maniac, it is a term known as murder hobo.
Yeah, murder hobo. Basically, it's an old, not even just D&D, but also just a really old RPG term where it's someone who is essentially a hobo and they go around killing everything in sight.
Basically, a person who only thinks about, literally just killing anything that has a pulse.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what its alignment is. If it's a troll, it's gonna die. If it's just a normal, tavern owner, they're gonna die. Like, no.
Yeah, actually, in fact, we were talking about it yesterday during our Demon Slayer binge, but I think we all agreed Inosuke absolutely is a murder hobo.
No, he's definitely a murder hobo. And definitely chaotic neutral.
Yeah.
There's no other alignment I think would fit him other than that.
Yeah. Now, granted, there are some instances where a murder hobo isn't too bad, and in some cases they can actually be kind of funny. Like I love Grog.
Yeah, Grog Strongjaw is he's not exactly a murder hobo because he is a team player, but in concept he is a murderous hobo. Cuz as a Goliath within his herd, basically his tribe, they go around performing feats, and that's basically what a Goliath does. So he's nomadic by nature, so in a sense, yeah, he is a murder hobo, but he doesn't go so far as to murder his own friends.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's why I say there's two types of murder hobos. There's ones who are all about, like, fight, let's kill everything. And then there's the ones who are like, I'll murder literally everyone, even my own party.
Yeah, and that last one is a bad example. Grog is a very rare example of a murder hobo done right.
Yeah, and that's why I like him.
Yeah, he's also funny too, and kind of a teddy bear.
Yeah, and you know what? Even though Inosuke does somewhat fall in the latter bit, I do still like him because despite that, he does get his comeuppance.
Right, okay. At least there's that.
Yeah, it's especially since, after Tanjiro realizes, because he's like a big mountain man who hasn't really had any interactions with people outside or even been remotely educated, he knows that he doesn't understand what reverse psychology is, so he knows how to pull a fast one on him.
Right. Well, sorry about that.
Yeah, but then you have people like Fakar.
Yeah. Fakar is not lovable in the slightest.
Nope. He stares
At you with his doll-like eyes and says not a word.
Such a deep and complex character.
Brian, I asked that thing earlier when you said think they're big shots, so I can just make a shitty Deltarune joke. Oh yeah, Brian. Since I don't think you were here for this, did you see the thing that Big Matt posted in No Mike? It's about the Popeye thing.
Hold on. Let me check it. Oh yeah.
Yeah. I still love when Inosuke keeps mispronouncing Tanjiro's name. I have a name, you know. It's Tanjiro Kamado. Alright, Gonpachiro Kamaboko.
And by the way, that's not going away anytime soon.
Yeah, like, you mentioned that it's a bit of a running gag with him.
Yes.
Sheesh. It's like Shifu pronouncing his students like their animal names. Like, he doesn't refer to them by name, he just calls them tigress, monkey, mantis, panda.
Yeah.
Actually, do the Furious Five even have real names?
Yeah?
Do they?
I know Tigress is one.
Oh, she does?
Well, I thought Tigress was just her name.
Her parents must have hated her. I mean, she was sent to an orphanage, which sucks.
Actually, you know what? No, I just looked it up. No, Tigress is Tigress refers to a female tiger. So okay, yeah, no, she's just referred to by her species name.
Yeah, again, her parents must have hated the fuck out of her. That's horrible.
This honestly, that just reminds me how it's like James McCloud bearing his son Fox.
It's like, James, something you want to tell your son here?
Then again, Wolf is no better.
Yeah. Or Cat.
It's like, yo, how come,
or
Cat
like, from Star Fox 64.
Yeah, it's like, yo, how come you guys get actual names when I get named after my species? I don't know, Fox, ask your dad.
You know I'm sensitive about that. You promised you wouldn't do that anymore.
It's like, whoa, what are you talking about? I'm just saying. Oh, right. Oh, shit.
Yeah, Panther. You're right. Pigma. No, Pigma is a bit of a name. It's just Sigma, but with a P in front of it.
Yeah, actually, something I learned from the Casual Geographic is that panther is not a real animal.
What?
Yeah, panthers aren't actually a real animal.
Bullshit. What's his evidence?
Well, no. Because panther refers to the genus Panthera, which refers to a whole bunch of common big cats.
Ah. Hang on. Something fucked up's happening here.
So, like, you know, yeah, like you could look at say like a tiger, lion, jaguar, or a leopard. You could call them a panther, and you would technically be correct.
Okay.
Yeah, panthers are black jaguars. Yep.
Oh yeah, I remember now. For some reason, I'm reminded of the original names Carmelita and Sly were supposed to be the names in the beta version. Elaborate?
Oh, probably in the beta version they were just called name.
That's it?
Yep.
Crystal, can you confirm?
Carmelita was originally Chase.
Ha ha ha. Get it? Because she chases Sly all over the world? No, Carmelita's way better. I mean, granted, her last name is Fox, but at least she has a full name. Carmelita Montoya Fox. Which is funny because there's a Batman character named Renee Montoya. So I wonder if she was named after Montoya, actually, from Batman. She was? Holy shit. That was a total guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think many people remember this, but yeah, Batman the Animated Series actually had way more characters than just Batman, his sidekicks, and Commissioner Gordon, and the bad guys, of course. There was like a whole cast of characters in the police force, like Detective Harvey Bullock. There's also, well, Renee Montoya, who we mentioned before. There's also well, Harvey Dent before he turned into Two-Face. Like, yeah, his entire story arc was very well done. It's just a shame that he just, reverted, just became a regular bad guy after the fact. It's like, whatever happened to Grace? Did he kill her? Did she get killed? What happened to her? I've always wondered. The team at Sucker Punch did say during interviews that Batman the Animated Series and Lupin the Third were big inspirations for Sly Cooper. You know what? I can see it. I can actually see it now that you mention it. Yeah, not to mention the whole comic book aesthetic. Not to mention that for Sly 2, at least, they did promote the series via, like, short comic books. You know, comic books can be stupid, but other times, they can be pretty awesome. Alright. Now, the back view. Sorry, guys. There's gonna be an ass shot.
Oh no, a butt.
There it is. It's here. Which, I don't think this character has much of a prominent ass anyway, so I don't see what the big deal is. So. Oh. Sorry, wrong layer. There we go. Sly was originally Sly's originally planned name was JT. Yes, that was his name, JT Cooper. I mean, Like Carmelita, it's just a regular name, but yeah, nowhere near as iconic as Sly. So I can see why they changed it,
What
even
does
if it is on the
JT
nose.
stand for? Justin Timberlake.
God damn it, Justin Timberlake Cooper.
Man, that's a stupid name.
I don't like how when you showed it, a vid I watched started to blast that one part of the only thing I know for real ass shot. There would be blood. Oh. My anus is bleeding.
Show me a good time, Jack. He pulls out his sword.
Okay, his anus starts bleeding.
Good night, everybody.
Anyway, Kaer Morn from The Witcher 3. Probably one of the best songs ever created. I've actually been delving back into Witcher lore for, inspiration. Because, of all the time I've been developing Phantom of the Forest, there was actually one question that I never really answered, and I figured, since I'm going over revisions now, I figured it would be an excellent time to go over them in like the second arc. I won't say what it is because I do not want to spoil the audience here. And no, don't ask me to spoil you anyway, because that's not how storytelling works.
In Jordan, I have put Pirate Crew through some endurance training.
Oh, how did she do?
She's going through it now.
Oh. Then
she's gonna get more HP.
Oh, hang on. I should be accurate. It's not Arc 2. It's not Arc 2, but Arc 2. As in story arc.
Space Colony Arc.
No. I will say this. The characters will never go to space. Like, everything takes place on, in their world, which, again, is based off of, Celtic mythology and, medieval Europe. So, space travel is just not possible.
Also, this Friday, we'll be getting a new video from the police.
Oh, right, the, Gastrodon police.
Yep. They make a new video every April Fools.
Oh, right. There is a stream slated for April Fools. I'm not going to celebrate it, though. In fact, okay. I probably will not stream that day just so I can avoid the potential of getting pranked.
Yeah. No, you see, it's like someone comes to your stream while you're playing a game. It's like, so what's the prank here? The prank is there is none. You've been baited.
Yeah, but that's, like, predictable, so, no, I don't, I really don't think I'll be streaming then. Because, like, I know people are going to expect a prank, and I'm not a prankster. Yeah, I can be a little trollish, but it's usually for, like, cheap laughs. Like, I don't go out, like, actively pranking people because, one, I'm not too smart, I'm not too smart in the way of that, and two, I never really liked April Fools. Not that I was the common target of getting, pranked, although my dickish attitude would probably tell you otherwise. No, I never got pranked. It's just, I never really liked it, because there are those cases where a prank goes too far and you do hurt someone's feelings, and I never liked that possibility, so I think that's why I never really liked April Fools as a holiday. In fact, it's not even a holiday, it's just a single day where you have a license to be a dickwad.
Actually, Jordan, I don't know if I've told you about something that happened one time at my high school that the seniors decided to do for like their last day senior prank.
Yeah. I do remember that for my high school too.
Yeah, but you want to know the evil thing they did?
What is that?
So one senior apparently was able to get a cage. No, were able to get a cage of 5 chickens, and they let them loose in the school.
What the fuck?
But here's the kicker. These chickens had numbers on them, and they were numbered 1, 2, 3, 4, 6.
Oh. I think I see where this is going. So they wanted this. They wanted the other students, the underclassmen, to find number 5, but there is no number 5.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cracked this case wide open. Cracked it like an egg. Anyway, sorry chat. By the way, they talk about this information from the bonus called The Evolution of Sly in Sly 3, Honor Among Thieves. Yeah. Yep. Which is another testament to why Sly 3 is the best game of the series.
Yep. Also, I would like to say, hello, 9 viewers.
9 viewers, holy shit! Hi! I'm not a shiny hunter. Anytime I find a shiny Pokemon, I'm not even trying for it. Neither do I, but yeah, it's like, whenever you try, it's like, where are they? They don't exist. But when you're just going through the game, it's like, oh, shiny Starly. In the first hour of the game? What are you talking about? Anyway, we do be doing a fair share of trolling from time to time. Yeah, I believe BJ's the prankster. I hate April Fools. Oh, Jen, hey! So sorry, you got lost in the sea of blue. Which does remind me of a song I actually really unironically like from Sonic and the Secret Rings. Yeah, the soundtrack, I will grant you, it's super weird that everything has lyrics, it seems. Not all of them. High and Broken is the only track that doesn't really have lyrics to it, but everything else, no. But it's the pirate theme stage, and I don't know, I kind of dig the hook, not gonna lie. I think it's because it's metal. No, that's definitely the reason. Like, I like it because it's metal. Blue on the Run, the boss theme, is also really good. Anyway, in a sea of blue, I'm surrounded by Russian blue cats. So you're surrounded by, clones of my cat Blue, who is also a Russian blue. I've heard something like that, but it was 2 pigs labeled 1 and 3. Oh my god. Well, okay, with the chickens, it's, at the very least, it's at least harder to find out until, you know, you're in the know. But just two pigs just labeled 1 and 3. No, people are gonna see through right away. It's like, did you even effort?
It's like, where's the other one? Where's the other one? There's no other one.
Danny's here. Hello.
Hello.
Danny.
It's been a while since I've been able to join you in one of your streams.
It's been a while. Welcome, Danny. We're just
yes.
doing some commission stuff right now.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm doing another reference sheet for Food Drops, aka Cloudy Cat, and it is of their Elden Ring character, Pride.
Ooh, neat.
Yeah, like, Elden Ring is definitely one of those games that I wish I had access to, but I can't. But I can't because money.
I keep hearing. I know that's like. I think I'm gonna have to end up succumbing and actually trying this thing.
Yeah, I mean, I guess from the way that it's being advertised, it seems to be the most accessible From Software game yet.
Yeah, it's like it's Dark Souls but accessible. So I was like, a good starting point, I guess.
Yeah. Although I am guessing that the cooperative play isn't really like a constant throughout the entire journey. Like it's a thing that happens if you're online and you get into a room with friends, but after the fact, like after you beat a boss, then they go away. So that kind of sucks.
Okay.
Although I only gathered that from an XP to level 3 video, so I cannot confirm or deny.
Yeah. Other than that, we were talking about, April Fools and pranks, because that day's coming up.
Ah, yes.
Yeah.
Let's see, how are you, Danny? I was telling Jordan and Brian about some info about Sly, like the original names, and how Batman and Lupin the Third were inspired for Sly. Yep. Yeah, I at least knew, like, the inspirations and such. Absolutely.
I actually didn't, and I feel I feel pretty awesome because I did a total guess as to, why Carmelita's name is Carmelita Montoya Fox, and I figured, oh, was she, like, named after Renee Montoya from Batman? And, turns out I was right.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, she was one of the, cop characters from the animated series. I miss both her and, Detective Bullock, because, like, they were good side characters. Renee is like a straight-laced cop lady, and Bullock is the bumbling private investigator who like hates Batman with a passion, yet seems to find himself getting saved by him every turn. Oh, missed the cross guard. We got the mom.
Yeah, like I was telling them, one of the pranks, like back in high school, that the seniors did on like the last day of school is that one of them got like a cage of 5 chickens and let them loose in the school with being numbered. And the best part is they were numbered 1, 2, 3, 4, 6.
Damn.
Yeah, you can guess what the quote-unquote challenge was supposed to be.
Oh, that's funny.
Yep. Also, Danny, I also got done telling them that for my one-shot, we finally found a Class 4 TP to pick up.
Oh, really?
Yep. His character is going to be a bard.
Nice.
Yep. The main reason is because since his character is based off of Eevee, bards have access to polymorph.
Oh, true. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's how he can get his evolutions.
Okay.
Yeah. I do like the Pokemon, the sort of Pokemon theme TP always seems to have for his characters. Like, he always finds some way to tie them into their, inspirations.
Okay. Yeah, it's like, I think for the most part, I think most of, I think most of my sheet for that one shot is done.
Yeah. I think we still just need to get a name for your character.
I was thinking because, given my class and given my Neopet, I was thinking, I think I'm overthinking it. Because I was like, okay, because this is a character that, unlike Arc, I'm not gonna take very seriously. Like, this is pure chaos. So it's like, I was thinking, like, okay, what kind of name or something? I think I'm overthinking it, so I'm thinking I'm just gonna call him Doc Doc.
Yo, I'm okay with that.
You know what?
Yeah.
I think it makes sense.
Yeah, Doc Doc the Jub Jub.
Yeah. Yo, I like that.
Yeah, Doc Doc the Jub Jub and his battle-ready pet Noom.
Yeah.
A simple man of simple means.
That's where it's like, I am overthinking this at this point.
Yeah. You know what? I am on board for this.
But yeah, like, I'm terrified for jumping into Druid, with Pyraku, but at the same time, I think I did at least pick what I believe is the most easy to understand. I'm expecting to get yelled at by Boone and Dion several times, though. Mainly because I'm playing a spellcaster. And if you guys know anything about me, I love D&D, but consistently I've always sucked monkey cock at spellcasting.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's like, but what better way to, get better at it than to try it?
Yeah.
Especially with the hardest fucking class in the game. Yeah, like, I would say even cleric is easier to understand.
I know, that's why it's so weird that, like, so many people, like, on a lot of videos say clerics are one of the harder classes to pick up, and I was like, I thought cleric was relatively easy. Like, I don't know, is it just because, like, trying to keep track of the magic? And even then, it's not that hard, because it's like you have access to all the spells. You just get to pick and choose which ones you want for the day.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
I mean, is it just that kind of management too much for a noob?
I mean, I guess one way to look at it is, yes, for clerics, you are spoiled for choice, but, another thing is, you also get your subclass right away, at level 1, no less. Not many classes do that. In fact, I think cleric is one of the only classes to start with their subclass.
I'm trying to remember, because, like, I know there's some, most get theirs at level 3. I think there's a few that get theirs at level 2,
Yeah,
and it's
Druid
like,
and Sorcerer are, the ones that are coming up in my head.
Isn't Warlock considered one of those?
Oh, Warlock? Hang on, let me check 5e12 real fast.
I was gonna say, I can look that up while you keep drawing.
Actually, yes, thank you, that'd be way easier.
Yeah, let me take a look, see. It's like, I could've...
While you're doing that, I think I got chicken ready, so I'll BRB.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Sorcerer is pretty easy to learn. For me, wizards are the hardest class to learn. Yeah, well, wizards, I would say, would be, among the hardest classes to learn, mainly because, spell casting is not something you want to jump into.
Yeah, Warlock at level 1, subclass.
Oh, yeah, you're right, you're totally right, okay. For some reason, I thought they were thinking, they were, like, getting their class at level 2, but no.
No, yeah, no, they get their subclass at level 1. It's at level 3 is where you decide, okay, do you want Pact of the Blade, Pact of the Chain?
Yeah, where you,
Pact of the Tome, like, where you narrow it down even further.
Yeah, I think that's also where you get to play around with invocations? Or am I thinking of another, phase?
Technically, level 2. Level 2 is where you...
okay.
Yeah, and even then you only get, I think it's like, hang on, let me see. You only get like a small amount.
Yeah, I think it should tell you on the level up chart.
Yeah. Yeah, you start with, you start learning 2 Eldritch Invocations. So you pick 2. When you level up, you can always switch one out. Mm-hmm. When you hit 5th level, you get 3 Invocations. And then it's practically like every other level at that point is you start adding more and more invocations. So it's like 3 at level 5, 4 at level 7, 5 at level 9, so on and so forth.
Right. Although that being said, while warlocks are hard to, get used to at first, especially if you played other spellcasters before, since they, cast all their spells at full power, they're easy to manage because, basically all you have to worry about with them is, you only have a limited number of spell slots, make them count until your next short rest.
Yeah, pretty much. And, like, some of the invocations that they can get allow you to cast spells, like, whenever you want.
Right.
Yeah, like, like, I know, like, one of them is, like, I think, like, for example, you can do, like, Detect Magic. Normally, that's a leveled spell. But I believe there's an invocation for that where it's like, oh, you can cast Detect Magic whenever you want. Like, you don't have to worry about wasting levels or anything. It's practically a cantrip.
Yeah, something like that. And obviously, depending on the patron, you get different abilities. Like, I know in the very far levels of Fiend Warlocks, you can essentially... No, not even essentially. You literally can hurl people through hell.
Yeah.
In fact, it's even called Hurl Through Hell.
Yeah, like there's that, and then depending on what other pact you want, like it's like like Pact of the Blade gives you some unique shit. I think Pact of the Tome just gives you access to more spells to kind of like beef it up a little bit more with the Warlock, and then like Jen's playing Pact of the Chain, so that's
Hmm.
you get to do some cool shit with your familiar.
Yeah. Um. Although I don't know if they added any more invocations by the time of Tasha's. I wouldn't doubt it, because Tasha's, like Xanthar's Guide, is an amazing book. Um,
Um, I don't. Let me see. They have added a couple, and from Tasha's, but
right.
it looks like it's a lot more of the stuff for uh, like uh, like your pacts. So it's
Right.
not, yeah. So it's like here's some extra features if you pick like Pact of the Tome or Pact of the Chain. There's Pact of the Talisman.
Oh, that's what Jen has.
Yeah, so it's where it's like that's what Tasha's added. They just added more perks with the pacts.
Which is neat. Um, but yeah, like, hang on.
Oh, bless you.
Thank you. But yeah. Um, although, if you do want to get into spellcasting when you're just starting out playing D&D, honestly, Sorcerer is probably the easiest.
I still haven't tried Sorcerer.
Sorcerer, because they only get... Yeah, they literally only get a new spell. Not spells, spell every level up. They learn magic slowly, and you can, like, I believe, shift out different spells when you level up, but because there isn't a lot to manage other than your spell slots, it's a pretty easy class to pick up on. That being said, this is just me, but I think out of all the classes in the game, Sorcerer is probably my least favorite because of how little there is to it after the fact. Not to mention, you don't get a lot of things when you level up. I mean, yeah, your subclass does give you some cool things, like Divine, Divine Soul does give you, access to cleric spells, which is fucking dope, but not all the other sorcerer classes are like that. There's also meta magic, where you can have your spells do different things depending on what you use. But other than that, sorcerers are just really simple spellcasters to pick up and play. Bards too, but sorcerers, I would say more so.
Okay.
This is all conjecture, of course, because I haven't actually played Sorcerer for myself, but just by looking at it, for me, it's underwhelming. And I do remember, way early when we were, getting ready for the Abode campaign, I did actually, remember... I do actually remember that I banned the, Wild Magic Sorcerer because of how unpredictable it is, but, then I watched the video on the Dungeon Dudes going over, all the, Sorcerer subclasses and organizing them into tiers, and actually, they listed, Wild Magic Sorcerers as S tier. Yeah, because even with, the chaos in mind, many of the weird effects are within your favor. Many of them are harmless effects that can easily be, transformed back. But yeah, they do have disastrous side effects if, your, magic surge does go off in the wrong way.
Right.
But
Okay.
That being said, I don't really feel comfortable banning it anymore. Like, if you want to play a Wild Magic Sorcerer, go for it. Just,
I would think...
It's probably dangerous to do for a campaign, I would say.
Yeah, like, for a one-shot. Like, it's like, I don't know, like... Because I know I've seen people online where they talk about banning specific subclasses. Like, I know, like, clerics, right now, a lot of people are saying how they've been to, like, tables that outright ban the Twilight subclass for cleric because of how ridiculously powerful it's become. Like, it's become, like, the S-tier cleric class. Like, because, like, yeah, like, once upon a time, it used to be, oh, if you want to play cleric, best cleric class is life class. Not anymore. It's Twilight domain now. And a lot of people are saying that Twilight is so overpowered and so ridiculously broken or whatever, I guess, that they're saying, like, ban it and such. And it's like, I don't know, it's never sat right with me to outright ban subclasses because, not everybody, because you can have two people playing, like, you can have two people playing, like, Twilight clerics, but play them radically differently.
Yeah, like, my fighter is not the same as your fighter.
Exactly. So that's where it's like, yeah, I mean, it's like, I know, like, like, the way I play Arc is so drastically different from when, Dana in the abode when she was playing Virog.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, like, her Barbarian, drastically different from Arc. So that's where it's like, I don't know. The whole idea of banning subclasses in D&D just doesn't sit right with me.
Yeah, unless if, for the sheer fact that, it's still going under playtesting, which is why I don't usually allow Unearthed Arcana stuff into the game. You'd have to give me a really good reason, to put in an Unearthed Arcana class into the game. But other than that, it's like, no, I don't really feel comfortable banning classes, outright banning subclasses either, because, well, part of it is my inexperience, but just going by intuition, if you want to play a Twilight Cleric, go for it.
Right.
I'm only going to stop you if you try to do something broken, or something that will, make the rest of the table, not have fun.
Exactly. Like, yeah, and that's really how it should be.
Right. But no, like, I'm just gonna say this again, in case you guys forgot, but if you want to go for a Wild Magic Sorcerer, fucking go for it. Oh, meanwhile, I'm here wanting to give a shot at Artificer. Oh,
Yeah, that's actually the class I'm trying out in Brian's one shot that's coming up. Is I'm giving Artificer a shot.
Yeah, like, I will say, if you want to get into a spellcasting class, I will say, really understand what you're getting yourself into, because spellcasting is a whole different ball game when it comes to, like, learning the ropes in D&D. I would say the easiest class period to learn would definitely have to be Monk, with Fighter as a close second. I know everyone, like, when you start out playing D&D, they always recommend the Fighter, but I'm with XP to level 3 and saying, I know I cite him a lot, but he's just a really good D&D content creator with some really good points sometimes. But
yeah, but
in
it's
practice,
like
it's the Monk.
Yeah, I can also even suggest Barbarian.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, like, I've been playing Arc now for, like, about 12 sessions now. It's like, I think I got a good grasp on how Barbarians play, and yeah, Barbarians are very easy.
Yeah. I will be sure next combat, I will have you do your fighter stuff, because I feel really bad for, like, that mess up I did. Where, like,
no
you almost had the opportunity to do a repost, but then I remembered, wait a minute, this guy's supposed to be laughing right now. Oops. Back to prone.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah. But next combat for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it'll happen.
Yeah. Anyway, you were saying? Sorry.
My dog is barking. It's like, I don't... Yeah, now I've lost my train of thought.
Fuck, sorry.
No, that's okay. But now it's like, for whatever reason, one of the dogs is barking.
Fighter is easier!
For spell... Danny has Doug. Yeah. We actually have two dogs.
Nope.
Like the one that's barking right now is Neo. He's a black lab mix.
Okay.
We don't know what he's mixed with, but we definitely can tell there's black lab in him. I mean, he's like, black lab face and shit, and it's just he's got like white on his chest, on like the tips of his front paws, and his tail curls up.
Okay.
So, not sure where any of that came from. And then the second dog that we have, who's actually sitting right next to me, that is Tessa, and she is a border collie mix. I think primarily border collie, but I think she's also got some like Australian sheepdog mixed into her. But one look at her, you can tell border collie.
Okay. For spellcasting, I suggest to try cleric or bard. Super easy to learn. Cleric depends on the subclass. Cause
Bard, I can agree on Bard.
yeah, bard definitely.
Yeah, Bard is a lot of fun. I honestly didn't think I'd have nearly as much fun with Bard, like, because there's a character that I've played with maybe like twice, and it's actually like a rogue Bard hybrid.
Yeah, multi-class.
Yeah, multi-class, but like the idea was I was gonna play more like a rogue with only a couple of levels of Bard, but I think I gotta rework them and do it the other way around because I was actually making more use of the Bard skills than I was with the rogue. So I'm thinking it's like, okay, this guy's probably gonna be Bard focused with maybe like 1 or 2 levels of rogue so he can have sneak attack.
Right. Actually, rogue is another class I need to get into because after all this time, although we've had 2 members of our party in both the campaigns I ran for you guys played rogues, I still don't entirely understand how sneak attack works. I know there's a set amount of dice that you can use, and there are some things you can do to get sneak attack, but
it's primarily like I mean it's like you either like because let me look this up. But I think it's primarily where you're like, if you're directly behind an opponent and they cannot see you, that counts as a sneak attack.
Okay.
Like, let me see. Sneak attack. Beginning of first level, you know how to strike. Once per turn, you can deal an extra d6 damage to one creature you hit with an attack if you have advantage on the attack roll. The attack must use a finesse or a ranged weapon. You don't need advantage on the attack roll if another enemy of the target is within 5 feet of it, that enemy isn't incapacitated, and you don't have disadvantage on the attack roll. The amount of extra damage increases as you gain levels.
Okay.
So it's just, go backstab them and get some extra damage.
Right.
Which is pretty much like what Ricky does. Ricky looks to backstab everybody.
Yeah, which, unfortunately, the Dice Gods seem to really have it out for him in particular, because in the Abode, Rags was probably one of our best players in terms of combat.
Oh God, he was the group nuke.
Yeah, he was unstoppable, but then again, I'm starting to think that has more to do with the school of necromancy than it has to do with Rags himself, but the stuff he does with his spells was way out of my depth at times. It's like, it was crazy how many things I let him get away with, and I probably shouldn't have, but it was a learning experience at least.
Yep, that's how you learn.
Yeah.
Apparently, there's a bot.
Bot? What? Oh! Why did you?
Yeah.
Okay, so instead of buying pizza, you decided to waste money on botting me. Prepare to die.
Where's my pizza?
Ban! Be gone, bot! The voices of the Slavic people agree with me.
Inosuke, get them.
He's Japanese though. He's not Slavic. You know what? I think Inosuke would survive well in the world of The Witcher. Okay.
I think Inosuke would survive. I think Inosuke would survive any world you throw him in.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I don't want to say much because that does involve like a bit of some season 2 spoilers. But it's like, yeah, no, Inosuke survives some dumb shit.
Right.
It's like you could throw him in the world of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, and he's like, stance. It's like, not like he fucking cares.
It's like, big deal. I stand all the time.
Yeah, really. Inosuke comes across as the kind of guy that would somehow be able to fight off a stand, even though he can't see it. He could still tear it to shreds.
Yeah, I can see him suplexing a stand and getting away with it.
It's like,
He could.
it's like, what? How are you hitting my stand? You're not even a stand user. I'm too angry to die.
My God.
Strahd, why is there a child with a bar mask running around in my land, and why do I hear boss music? Oh god, that's like, yeah, that was like in our, like in our Discord server for where we play Strahd. That's where, yeah, Ricky is like, so, Sugash, when are we putting a boar head on you? And that's where, and I respond, when Ark finds and hunts a wild boar, then we'll put it on his head.
I mean, it depends. You know what? I can see Sugash being flexible enough to pull it off.
He's probably the one guy that could do it. Because I know Ark sure as hell can't.
No.
Like, he may be big, but he's not. He may be beefy, but he is not flexible.
Yeah, like
the most he can do is spin his head in a direction, but that's because bird.
Yeah, well, he and Sugash are the unarmed combatants of our group. The sheer difference is, Sugash is light on his feet and nimble. Ark is pure, unadulterated fury.
He's just tank.
Yeah, he's just tank, and not all tanks move very fast. So, you know what? We could probably flavor as your low initiative rolls as, you know, him being what's the game archetype? Mighty Glacier?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where it's like, that's kind of, I think that's kind of how it's kind of become. Because it's like, yeah, guys, even when we do the initiative rolls, it's like, I don't know what it is. I can get okay rolls, you know, I get occasionally low roll every now and again, but for the most part, I get pretty average rolls, except for when we go to roll initiative. I get dirt garbage rolls every fucking time. And it's like, you know, it's like, everybody's like, oh, I'm in the teens. Why rolled a 4?
Oh, Swordzenny is rating us with a person. Thank you for coming again.
Yee.
Been a while.
But yeah, it's like,
Been a
yeah,
while.
that's like, yeah, but that seems to be like where my dice luck, that's where my dice luck goes down, is initiative rolls.
Yeah.
I was like the last one that we did. Everybody's is in the teens. I roll a 4. And you were like, I feel so bad, so you know what, roll again. I roll a 15. I'm still on the bottom of the list.
I mean,
So
it's
like,
still a step in the right direction.
I know, and the funny thing is like, because really it's like, because with Arc, like, the 3 stats I'm primarily focusing on is obviously Strength first, then Constitution, and then Dex. So, I mean, when I get to Barbarian level 4, I mean, yeah, I'm gonna give myself the Dex boost, but it's like, I have a relatively high dexterity score for a Barbarian, and I still get garbage initiative rolls.
Yeah, it's super weird.
I've just come to accept it.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes when it comes to things like that, it could work well for your character, but other times, yeah, it is annoying. Like,
Yeah, it's okay.
I know,
It's okay.
I know Boone fucking hates it when he lows roll on initiative, but I think that more has to do with the way he likes to, you know, roll combat in D&D, since he's very strategy heavy.
Mm-hmm.
I think the majority of us are go with the flow.
Yeah.
And then Dion,
Although
well, he's been playing for years, so he's flexible, but...
Yeah. I will say, though, like, at least in the last session, like, pretty much, like, all the dice rolls that I actually did with the new dice. Like, the Arc dice, as I got it now, and those are actually pretty good rolls.
Nice.
So it's like, ooh, Arc dice is good dice.
Actually, you know what? For the last entire session, I've been experimenting without using my dice tray, and I think I know why I kept getting Garbo rolls, because they kept bouncing on the tray. So I decided to use my table for my D20 rolls now, and honestly, since I count as a player too, I've been rolling relatively well during the horse race. Thank God I lost, though.
What kind of dice tray did you initially have?
Leather. It's one of those foldable ones.
Okay, yeah, because I got one of those foldable ones too. Like, that's the one that I use. Like, because I picked that up at my store. Like, yeah, it's like, it's a foldable one, but it's like leather on the outside, but it's kind of got like a felt thing or something. Like, they say it's especially ideal for metal dice. And I mean, I have a set of metal dice, but I rarely ever use them because it's like, I really don't want to damage them. They look too nice.
Yeah. Whereas I like the heft of metal dice. I don't have a lot of them, though. I just have the 2 sets. You know, the gold and black and silver ones. I do like them. It's just...
Have you seen the dice that are, like, ridiculously tiny? Like, the teeny dice?
Yeah, it's like, how are you not going to lose them?
I did not even know they make dice that small, like, until, like, yeah, it was like when I got my my newest set of dice, I saw it and it was like, oh my god, they actually make like full dice sets that are like a quarter the size of the regular dice, and I'm like, how do you not lose those? They're so small.
Yeah, like they're like dice sets for Koropakar. Basically, they're like if you play Okami, they're Isun's race. They're like the Minish, except bug themed.
Yeah. It's like, these are Minish dice.
Yeah, Minish dice.
Yeah, that's where it's like, yeah, Jen brought up that good point. Like, at last session, even though, like, yeah, Kira gave Ark her cape and her hat to wear while she's racing, and it was like, we didn't realize until after the session we totally could have made some Darkwing Duck references, and it didn't, and it completely slipped our minds.
Yeah, it really did, and that is a sin. But we will remedy that next time that happens. But
like, I am the terror that flaps in the night.
Yeah.
Then I just gotta come up with some other dorky thing.
Yeah.
Like,
I am the terror that flaps in the night. I am the tenderizer of the pork that is about to go bad. I am Darkwing Duck.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, there's an entire compilation to give you ideas, but yeah.
Oh yeah.
I am the garlic in Strudel's wine.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
By the way, Danny, I'm gonna send you a video that's timestamped, because this moment of this video is just fucking hysterical.
Oh, that would be Ringo, Mr. Maniac.
Oh my god, so many Inosuke's.
Yeah.
All the Inosuke's.
What the fuck?
Meanwhile, Sugash looking like a Van Helsing motherfucker in Kira's cloak and hat.
It's like, what is with all these Inosuke's?
They're all ganging up to beat up other people.
Makes sense. Do you think he would get along with Goku?
I think he.
You know, he would want to fight Goku.
Yeah, I think he would try to fight Goku.
Sounds about right. So how do you guys feel being in prison, save Corey?
Oh, yes. That's where it's like... That's like, I would think, like... Yeah, because I think, like, we were talking about this yesterday, actually. That's, like, I kind of get the impression that it's, like, jail's not exactly, like, you know, it's not an experimental lab, so I don't expect Ark to be going into, like, a freaking, like, PTSD episode, but I think like, yeah, the longer he stays in, he's gonna be like, okay, I'm getting impatient. I don't like I'm a big bird. I don't like being in this tiny jail cell. Come on, Corey, where are you? I want to get out of here now.
Uh-huh.
Hurry the fuck up!
Like he's gonna be like that. He's gonna get like, yeah, he's gonna get kind of, maybe a little bit panicky, but very uncomfortable.
Right.
Where's my phone call?
Phones don't exist in Barovia, unfortunately.
He's like,
Shit!
where's my phone? It's like, where's my phone call? He's like, I want my coffee. You don't drink coffee. I don't care. I want one.
For some reason, I'm thinking of that video with this man screaming bloody murder about who wants coffee. It's like that's literally all he was shouting for the entire video. Like, he went into a gas station asking who wants coffee, and then apparently someone got so annoyed that they threatened to call the cops on him.
Oh, wow. Ark, where's my can on a string call?
I mean, there's a D&D item that basically acts like a cell phone. Those are the sending stones, right?
Yeah.
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 We don't.
Where's my sending stone?
Yeah, you don't have sending stones yet. But yeah, I'm happy that I went ahead and prepared future sessions for you guys during the hiatus, because that definitely takes the edge off.
Yeah.
I will have to do it again at some point, but,
Yeah. And it's like, and I mean, yeah, I know, again, we're going on, yeah, I know the next session is practically a month away, so it's like, on the plus side, it's, I mean, yeah, that's more time for you to prepare ahead if you want.
Yeah. And hopefully we can get the tax situation sorted out.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the deadline is not too far away, but hopefully we can get them done in time. I want them to get done in time.
Yeah, it's like, how exactly do you write for taxing and stuff when what you're doing is like streaming and commission work? Like, how do you write any of that?
Honestly, I don't know that myself, but
like,
Mom
maybe
has
as
been
far
trying
as
to figure it out, but mainly I would have preferred if we did it together, but she's kind of doing it by herself, so it's like kind of annoying, but yeah.
Okay. But maybe as far as streaming goes, like if you're actually making money off the streaming, I don't know if you are or not, but if you are, maybe that's something you can talk to Brandon about. Because he's been streaming for a couple of years now. I mean, that's pretty much his job, so I think he'd be pretty knowledgeable on that.
Yeah. I mean, they do provide some, they did provide some taxing information, so, I decided to take that and, send it, Mom's way. But, yeah, for how to file everything, we're sort of, like, feeling it out, but hopefully by the time that, they're done, I could, like, ask her what she did, so I won't have to rely on her again. Because...
But because you just need to do it once, and then it's like, then you'll have like the physical records, and you'll be like, okay, now I know how to go from here.
Yeah. But that's the annoying thing, because she did say she would help me out, not that she was gonna do them herself. So it's like miscommunication is kind of what's pissing me off here. That, and I know she's been swamped with her actual job, but it's like, I don't think Kedrot's the type to curse. Not even minimally.
Yeah, no, because then he get a voice in his head saying, "Oi, don't swear. This side is family friendly."
Yeah, like that is the sole reason why none of us will swear during the Neopets one shot.
If it does happen, I am doing that. It's like suddenly you hear a voice in your head saying, "Oi, don't swear. This side is family friendly."
Yeah, Doc. I don't think you have to worry about that. Like, I mean, he may be a little crazy, but he's not like cursing
vulgar.
great.
Yeah.
No, he's not vulgar in the slightest.
Yeah, Jordan may be a sailor mouth, but Pyraku is definitely not. So I will try my best to avoid swearing.
There's like something just comes up. Pyraku's like, what the? Looks up, sees the Y7 rating. Heck.
What's the heck? Yes, that's what I was going to say. I haven't really found a good voice in my head for Pyraku yet.
I got an idea. I got an idea for what I want, like for what I envision for Doc Doc. I know for a fact it's gonna be like Ark. I'm not gonna be able to like replicate my headcanon.
Yeah.
I mean, I can try my damnedest, but it's not gonna happen. Like basically, like for my Neopet character, think the Dreamfinder from Journey into Imagination, like way back in the day, that old dark ride, you know, before they completely butchered it.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, the character of the Dreamfinder, that's the kind of voice I imagine for Doc Doc. So it's like, you know, kind of like jovial almost or something, you know, where he's just, you know, talking about, you know, the wonders of imagination. Ooh, and here's my figment. You know, like, that's the kind of voice that I imagine for Doc Doc.
I mean, with that alone, we can kind of get an idea of what you're going for.
Yeah.
And sometimes close enough is good enough. Yeah. Doing dreadlocks.
Peckneck. No swearing, I already told you.
Yeah, you'd be surprised, how many words are actually seen as curse words. Like, hell may be a, place in religion, but, there is a reason why people say what the hell, so...
Yeah. What? Well, I know Peckneck is just it's a Hat Kid reference.
Right.
Sugash, hey Kira, what do you want to eat? Strahd in Kira's head. The souls of the innocent. Kira, a bagel. Strahd, no! Kira, 2 bagels actually.
So basically, Doc Doc says, top of the morning to ya. It's like, yeah, pretty much.
Top of the morning to ya. Which, is, an Irish stereotype, not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Speaking as an Irish American myself.
Yeah, it's like, top of the morning to ya. It's like...
Actually, I will tell you one... I'm sorry for interrupting, but I just want to get this out. I will tell you guys one thing. Alexandra will never, ever say top of the morning. Just because she's Irish doesn't mean she's gonna say it.
No Jacksepticeye.
No.
Honestly, I just like to imagine someone just walks up to her and actually says it, and she's just like, are you fucking kidding me?
She's like, no, she would, like, stare them in the eye and just glower enough so her eyes start glowing, and then hopefully that's enough to scare them away. Like, Alex is, more approachable than you think she would be, but if you do piss her off, run. Oh, bless you.
Damn, fucking allergies.
Oh, man.
It's like, no, it's like, I can tell because, like, my, you know, it's like you open the windows, you leave them open all day. It's like, I was perfectly fine until I came home. And now I'm sneezing.
Right. Me sitting here with my Scottish woman, Gracie O'Malley, who swears like a sailor and fights monsters because she can. Oh. So, I see you've chosen death. My headcanon voice for Alex is Lisa Hannigan, and if you don't know who she is, she's an Irish singer who voiced Blue Diamond in Steven Universe, and she also voiced the main character's mom, Brana, in Song of the Sea, which is a movie I really want to watch. It's done by an Irish animation studio, and it's like, oh my gosh, I need to see all their movies. But yeah, I imagine Alex to sound like that.
Okay.
Hey, Jordan. It's like, I have a name, you know. It's Alexandra Vega Arc. Alacranco Mega Stark. Let's go!
And Alexandra's like, son, are you high?
I'm touching the ground like you are. What do you mean by high?
Okay, hang on. I gotta get me some Zyrtec or something.
Oh, okay.
This is ridiculous.
Yeah, okay. Meanwhile, Jason, after someone makes dumb Canadian stereotype jokes. Ooh, you just made a powerful yet stupid enemy on this day. But yeah, that's my headcanon voice for Alex. My headcanon voice for other characters, Kragatoth is Frank Welker. Now, Frank Welker is definitely the only voice I can imagine in my head for him. Possibly Willem Dafoe, but mainly Frank Welker. He's a Megatron, and Scooby-Doo, and basically every old-fashioned cartoon series out there. But Frank Welker does what he does best. Yeah, basically that gravelly, monstrous voice that he used in Transformers Prime is what I'm looking for. Fitting, because he is a demon. For Savarus, that would be Erika Ishii. I know she's Valkyrie in some game. I'm forgetting the name of it, but Apex Legends, I think it is, right? I think so, but yeah. Erika Ishii for Savarus. Possibly Laura Bailey, but I'm not sure. Fira, definitely, I can see Karina Reeves voicing her. She's Fiora from Xenoblade. Which is kind of appropriate because Fira's name is very close to Fiora. Just, remove the O. For Dora, Sky David Bennett. She's Pyra and Mithra. While we're on the topic of headcanon voices, I once brainstormed on who would be the VAs of my characters, both English and Japanese, because I imagine them in an anime setting. Okay. The only headcanon voices for my series is maybe Willem Dafoe as Vane. Meanwhile, Jason is actually going to be my actual voice. Okay. Oh, is Danny back?
Yeah, I'm back.
Yay! Also, Johnsborg is playing. In hindsight, I'm kind of embarrassed that I just played Johnsborg on repeat for one of the battles in the Abode, because, I think I was kind of riding on high with how good it was, or at least how good I thought it was.
That's okay.
You know what, Jordan? There's been an OST I keep meaning to send you because I think it would be really good for some D&D stuff.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. Have you ever heard the soundtrack for Epic Mickey?
I haven't.
There's some bangers.
Okay. Yeah. Send it to me sometime.
Okay.
Yeah, like I know I've sent you a bunch of songs for D&D and shit, but it's yeah, if you ever need me to hunt down more for any specific shit you're looking for, I mean, I can help you out.
Yeah. I'll remember that. But yeah, interesting. You think Willem Dafoe is a pretty decent choice for one of your characters. Mainly, I would want Frank Welker to voice Kragatoth, but Willem Dafoe is definitely a good runner-up. Although then, God forbid, Phantom of the Forest gets an animated adaptation, then people are probably going to just make Green Goblin jokes all the time.
Do you know how much I sacrificed?
Yeah, you can't do this to me. I led your armies. Do you know how much I sacrificed? Or, you're a fascinating creature, Alexandra. You and I are not so different. And then Alexandra would probably say something like, fuck off. Which is funny because, I think Willem Dafoe did play, an Irish character before. Have you guys ever seen The Lighthouse?
No?
He starred in that movie along with Robert Pattinson. It's a movie that was deliberately done in an old-fashioned style, and it's about these two sailors that basically were losing their minds because they were marooned on this lighthouse they were stationed on. So naturally, their minds started, going off the fritz.
Nice.
It's got a lot of homoerotic annotations though, so if you're sensitive to that kind of stuff, I wouldn't recommend it, but it's also the source of possibly one of Willem Dafoe's best monologues ever. Because, like, it reeks of eldritch horror.
Nice.
Let's see. Actually, thinking of it, Willem Dafoe would be better for my girlfriend's character that's become part of the Hybrid canon. Hybrid being my universe's name, for now at least. And I know my magical girl character will be my voice, and I have thought about what voice I want for the teacher of my gentleman thief character. And one of my characters, he's literally me dressed as Sans and has the same powers as him, so he's more of a fan character than anything else. I imagine the English VA would be Zach Aguilar?
Yeah, Koichi.
Oh! Okay. Tanjiro.
It's like, it's like he does other voices, but we always fall back to Koichi because it's like, tragically, we hear Koichi come out a lot. It's like, yeah, Koichi comes out of Tanjiro a lot, I've now noticed. Since we started watching Demon Slayer, Koichi comes out a lot in Tanjiro.
I guess I should at least tell my chat this. If you ever want to know who's voicing a character, listen to them scream. You'll know who it is. Like, it's a very easy tell, surprisingly, because you can only mask your voice for so long. It doesn't matter how good you are. If you start screaming, people will tend to notice who's doing it. I think only a handful of voice actors can hide their voices even while screaming. Honestly, the only example I can think of is Frank Welker, because he's been at it for so long.
Yeah, well, now you're talking about somebody with like decades of experience.
Yeah,
it's like he's got more experience than like the majority of the anime dubbing industry, sadly.
Right.
I mean, I know there's a couple. I know we have a handful that have been doing the dubbing for decades, but they're very few and far in between. And even then, I don't think they've voiced nearly as long as him.
Right. Which, honestly, since I do headcanon him being Kragatoth, I don't think Frank himself has done many productions where he voices a character who swears a lot. Because, let's be honest, Kragatoth has a sailor mouth. Like, there's literally a scene where he, stabs one of his followers over and over just for failing, and he kind of goes off the rails with the swearing. So, it's like, would Frank of all people be okay with it? Because I know James Arnold Taylor is like iffy on the stuff he voices in. Because I know he himself is Christian, which is bizarre considering he's voicing. He voiced this one character in Drawn Together, who's basically a banana version of SpongeBob, and Drawn Together is an adult show.
No, paycheck's paycheck.
Yeah. I got the Japanese VA wrong. It's actually Toru Furuya. Yeah, I don't know what it is, but my chronic pain is coming back in like my upper spinal area again, and ooh. I think that's sort of what's leading to the sleep deprivation, because like I would sleep for a few hours, And then I wake up, look at the clock, and it's like, oh shit, it's only 2 a.m. And then, you know, the vicious cycle occurs again where it's like, okay, trying to go back to sleep, nothing's happening. Let me write for a little bit. And a little bit becomes until like 7 in the morning. And then I just pass out from exhaustion. I mean, for better or worse, I have been getting a lot of world building done for Phantom of the Forest, and occasionally Curse of Strahd too. It's just, why can't some people just sleep like normal people? And why am I some of those people who can't sleep like normal people?
But you think it could be back problems?
I'm beginning to suspect that may be the case. That, and I still have some untreated temporomandibular disorder stuff. You know,
What is that? I've never heard of that. What is it?
Oh, basically it's a chronic pain in your jaws.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Like,
That
actually, hang on.
that doesn't.
Let me
Yeah,
do
that
something.
already doesn't sound pleasant.
Yeah, let me demonstrate it here. Hear that?
Yeah.
That was my jaw. Just unhinging
Ooh. Ooh.
Yeah, like, that clicking is because, you know, part of my jaw is getting misaligned whenever I just move it, and that causes some of the pain, and it does irritate my, you know, mandibles, you know, hence the name temporomandibular disorder.
How do you go about treating that?
I have no idea, but I know one way of treating it is actually through a chiropractor. It's like, yeah, if I ever get around to going to a chiropractor, that will be one of the first things I'll have to ask them to treat. That, and also, another thing is that I got it when, you know, I was first getting my wisdom teeth taken out. Basically, the doctors, while they had me under the knife, basically, they fractured my entire lower jaw, and then I basically went home with an entirely bruised face. Like,
Ooh.
yeah, I survived, but they gave me this.
Right. I mean, it's like, you know, getting wisdom teeth taken out sucks regardless, but that on top of it.
Yeah, it's, I don't even know what they did. They just snapped my entire jawline.
Ooh.
Yeah, like, I can talk fine, and I can eat fine. It's just, you know, ow, chronic pain. I hate it. It's just annoying that the pain comes and goes, and it can be really disruptive, especially if I'm, like, expected to do something the next day, and it's a vicious cycle. I want it to end.
Yeah, really.
And it's not a case where, oh, I'm just being lazy about it. No, I literally can't afford half of the shit that will help me feel better, you know? But it's like, I manage. Drawn Together, that show is weird. Yeah, like, I don't even know what it's about, other than the fact that, hey, these cartoon characters are getting into adult antics. Also, Tara Strong voices, like, 2 characters in the show. By the way, fuck Tara Strong.
It's like, I remember watching, I think it was like the first like 2 seasons, I think, of Drawn Together, and like that was when I stopped, because it was like, yeah, first season I was like, okay, it's pretty funny, and then it's like, yeah, like second season, I don't know, I was like, oh, this is going downhill real fast, and I mean, I'm aware there were more seasons after it, but I did not keep up with it.
Something tells me you aren't missing much either. Just from the outset, to me, it did look a lot. It did look very one note. So,
I think that was part of the problem, was because like it didn't start one note. It definitely became one note. The premise was pretty simple, but it was like, the way they were treating the characters and such, I mean, it was actually, I'd actually would argue it was actually kind of varied, at least in the first season. But then it's like, we go into season 2, and it was like all of a sudden, it's like, okay, now the characters are starting to become one note. And it's like, we're only going to focus on, like, the one thing. And that's it, and not do anything else with it. Where it's like, that was not the case in season 1. Like, in season 1, like, for example, like, the Disney princess, she went through a lot of character development in the first season. But then it's like, after that, it was like, okay, nope, she's gotta be like, oh, you think she's all sweet and innocent when she's really not. And it's like, there was so much more to her in the first season, because it was primarily because she was getting out of that Disney princess role.
So would you say that they've been Flanderized?
I would argue yes, absolutely Flanderized.
Oh man.
That's like the video game character where he's supposed to be like the gay parody of Link. He didn't start that way. It's like, when season 1 began, you can tell he was like the kind of character where it was like he was a lot more closeted, where it was like everyone else could tell that he was gay, but he himself was like, no, I'm not gay. I have a girlfriend. I'm on a never-ending quest to rescue her. And it took a couple of episodes for him to ultimately come to terms with, yeah, I'm gay. So it's like, they actually tried to do some development with him, but then after that, it was just, yeah, he's the stereotypical gay character that, for whatever reason, we still see in media nowadays. And it's like, you do
did
realize
not age
that,
well.
Yeah, it's like, you do realize you don't have to go to the whole drama queen girlfriend. Like, you don't have to keep falling on that. Not all gay people are like that.
No, like, they really aren't. Like, in fact, I would say none of them are like that. I mean, okay, none is kind of a stretch, but the majority of them aren't like that.
Yeah, it's like, yes, I have, like, between college and work and stuff, it's like, yes, I have met gay men that absolutely are that stereotype, but I've met a lot more that aren't.
Right. So if anything, they're the minority.
Yeah, so that's where it's just like, why, it's like, that's why it's like, today, it's like, with all this talk about, like, trying to be a little bit more diverse and all this stuff, why do we keep falling back on the stereotypes? That's what gets me.
Because focus groups. I don't know, that's my guess. Like,
you know what? Focus on this fist in your face.
Like, honestly, my take with making characters who are gay or any orientation or race, really, is to throw stereotypes out the door and make a character. They just happen to be those things.
I think that's why like Has Been Hotel and Hell of a Boss have like exploded so much. Because I mean, yeah, those two series alone, they are chock full of characters that that are part of like the LGBT spectrum, but they do not fit any of those stereotypes whatsoever. They are characters first.
Yeah.
And it's like oh my, it's like they don't go with the mold. So it's like, oh my god, I love these freaking characters. It's like, I myself I'm very much a straight woman, but I love the characters in Has Been Hotel and in Hell of a Boss. They're so freaking great.
Exactly. And that's definitely the angle I'm going for pretty much all the characters I write. Like, yeah, is Dora gay? Yeah, but she doesn't, act like a stereotypical, gay girl. She's just a girl who's a cleric, and she happens to like girls, like Riona. It's like, it's not something that overtakes her whole character. Like, she has her own thing going on, which I will not spoil. But, yeah, character first, other details second. And, like, yeah, Flanderization is definitely something that needs to be addressed, because it's, you know, taken really good characters and completely abolished them, or rather demolished them from what they used to be. Like, all the Sonic characters are being Flanderized, including Sonic himself. Like,
we were actually talking about, I think we were talking about this yesterday, like, with, like, especially, like, Knuckles.
mm-hmm.
It's like, that's where it's like, yeah, Knuckles has pretty much become, like, you know, oh, I'm the dumb character, and it, not even, like, the silly kind of dumb, but, like, you know, dumb.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like, they're silly dumb, which is weird, because apparently, like, they got that right in the Sonic Boom cartoon. They got they got silly dumb there, and it worked. But, like, then you go to, like, you know, freaking Sonic Boom the game, and Knuckles is just dumb.
Yeah, and then you have Sonic Forces, where he leads an entire militia to their death.
It's like, really? That's the guy where he's like, of all the people to lead the charge, we're entrusting our lives to Knuckles the Echidna? Oh god, help
Why
us.
is Tails not the leader?
Because he's losing it!
We see him in the next cutscene just fixing up Omega, or at least trying to, and he's totally fine! Why are you lying to us?
Yeah.
And, like, they also
like,
said
oh my
Sonic
God.
was being tortured for months, and then we see him, you know, talking with Zavix, and he looks no
fine.
worse for wear.
Yeah, he's fine.
I think, I would chalk it up to, oh, the localization wants this game to be more edgy than it actually is.
I have no idea.
And then that's what they came up with, like...
You know what? I put something in No Mic to perfectly represent how modern Sonic is being treated.
Yeah, yeah.
Thanks, Nezuko.
Delete this.
Oh, best way to
Do you think the Sonic Forces team committed war crimes against Eggman's forces?
I don't give a shit, and I don't think they did either. But if they did, then I would probably give you a real answer. Welcome back, that guy, Mark.
Anywho, I have to start getting ready for work soon, but before I leave, no looting Nezuko.
No looting Nezuko, or I will kill you.
She is baby.
Yes.
Okay.
On that violent note, let's continue.
Maniac says, I think it was legit localization problems.
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense. Which, honestly, I don't know what the localization team for the recent Sonic games has been like, but they need to stop and be fired, because...
Well, to be fair, like, we really haven't had, like, another mainstream Sonic game since Forces. Like, this, like, open world one that's coming out.
Yeah, Sonic
is, like,
Frontiers, I think.
Yeah, that's the next big one, which I'm like, okay, it's like, I don't know how to feel about that one, though, because it's like, on one hand, I'm happy that, like, okay, they're actually giving themselves time to develop in between games and not just shitting them out for the sake of having a Sonic game every year, because that model has not been kind to them. So it's
really
like,
hasn't.
so it's like, on one hand, I'm happy to see that, okay, they're trying to take the time to develop something, but then on the other hand, it's like...
At what cost?
Again, they're trying to target the gaming tropes right now, like what's popular right now, and that has not been kind to Sonic. It's like, I do not understand why Sega has this aversion to just do what you do well. Like, make like a fun platformer and stuff. You don't have to be chasing the current golden goose of gaming to keep Sonic relevant. You really don't need to do that. Just make the best goddamn platformer you can make, and people will get it.
Exactly. Like, there's a reason why so many people loved Sonic Mania, but just completely panned over Sonic Forces. Because it was a fun platforming game, and that's all it needs to be. That's all Sonic needs to be. the main thing with Sega that I think Johnny, some call me Johnny, described very well multiple times over in his career is that Sonic Team struggles with consistency.
They do, really. And it's like, I mean, and yeah, and that's where it's absolutely frustrating as a Sonic fan, because it's like, it's like, we can never truly know what to expect in the next game. And it's like, you think like, oh, Sonic Mania, great freaking game. It's like, we want more of that. We're not getting any more of that, are we? Like,
Certainly fucking feels like it.
Yeah, the most we'll get will be like, okay, here's the next port on the next, the next gen console or something. It's like, why can't you let the team that made Mania keep giving them work? Have them keep working on some more games. Like, it doesn't have to be like Sonic Mania 2 or something. Like, you can still give them Sonic games or something, but it's like, just give us some more. Just give us some more of that stuff.
And don't have it be a stealth ad like Sonic Mania. But ultimately, no. Even without the true ending in mind, yeah, like, give us more fun titles, not the latest trend.
Yeah. Because Sega's Sega's got a really nasty habit of trying to chase the latest trend with the Sonic series to keep it relevant, and like I said, it has not been very kind to them. So it's like, just stop trying to chase the fucking trend and just do what you do best. That's all we're asking.
Exactly.
It should be so simple. So I don't know why they feel they have to go they have to go the long way around.
This is some intense ranting music, by the way, but yeah, our point stands. Yeah, like, if they would just stay consistent and, refine what already works, not butcher what already worked, like they did with Sonic Forces. Like, they did not need to remake the Hedgehog engine. They really didn't.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's like, don't get me wrong, I'm willing to try out Frontiers. It's just like, I am going into that with low expectations. Like,
Same.
Do not go into this thinking this is going to be the next Breath of the Wild. Nothing is going to beat fucking Breath of the Wild, okay? Especially with Breath of the Wild 2 coming out. You're not beating Breath of the Wild, so don't fucking try.
Oh, she's leaning into the mic. She's being serious.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, like, if it's good, awesome. If it's not, then, well, okay, that's par for the course. Which kind of sucks because, yeah, like, we do like Sonic, we just wish he was better. Like, just, okay, I don't mean to be that guy to compare him to Mario, but to compare him to Mario, there's a reason why Mario games have stood the test of time even to this day, because they took a pre-established formula and, didn't change much. They, added bits and pieces to it to keep it fresh, but what ultimately made those games so good is because they were well designed and fun to play and replay. If your game is only good for one spurt, or if it's just entertaining for the wrong reasons, your mileage may vary on which Sonic game falls under that category, minus Shadow the Hedgehog. Actually, Sonic 06. Shadow the Hedgehog is actual trash. Then that's not a good way to design a game. Like, it has to have a reason for you to keep coming back to it.
I'm still surprised that at this point we still don't have a Mario Sonic crossover platformer.
No, like, you would think that would be the first thing they would try.
That should be fucking easy. How the hell has that not happened? I mean, they're not adverse to collaborating on the goddamn Olympic series. Why not make a platformer?
Yeah, like, I've always considered the Olympic Games, while fine games, unfaithful crossovers.
Well, they're also not long-standing games either. So I mean, it's like, but it should be like, it's like, it would be so much fun. Just think, like, with Mario with all the pipes and shit, like, you can build some interesting speed levels like out of that for Sonic, and just give Mario some Sonic costumes. This is no-brainer shit. This is no-brain shit, guys.
And they're like, what's that? You want another Olympic game? Nope, we don't. Okay, another Olympic game it is. Come on. Also, wait. Counterpoint. Barbie Horse Adventure is 3 times the game Breath of the Wild will ever be. A gripping epic about Barbie and horses. What's not to love? What the fuck? I see. Apparently it's because they need to make a mishmash of their worlds, which is something Nintendo and Sega can't seem to agree on. I mean, when you have games like Shadow the Hedgehog, I can see why. Which, unfortunately, Shadow the Hedgehog is canon to the Sonic series, guys. It's not a Shadow game. It's not something exclusive to Shadow. It's a Sonic game. Shadow's the star, though. That's the only thing. Which means, damn, they got away is something Sonic the Hedgehog actually said at one point.
Crystal Stars Girl says, like, I heard Sega wanted to make a Mario and Sonic game, but Nintendo said no.
Nintendo said no? Okay, I'm gonna chalk that up to Nintendo Japan, because out of all the divisions in Nintendo, they seem to be the ones making the most assholey decisions. Like, don't even get me started on the AM2R shit. But, with, like, different localizations for games that, by all means, should not, be region-locked anymore. Like, Mother 3, like, we have...
Yeah, that I still do not understand why the hell at this point they have not released Mother 3.
Yeah, like, the Mad Gypsies are fine now. It's 2022.
Yeah, like, there is literally no reason at this point, So it's like, that one eludes me.
Yeah, so they find, transgender Animal Crossing characters fine, but, okay. Apparently the Mad Gypsies and Mother 3 is reason enough for them to never release, an English version of the game, outside of fan translations. Fair enough. It's not fair at all. I hate it. But if they're letting, things like gender identity getting in the way of localizing a game, then they're doing something horribly wrong here. Because, even Reggie's like, you know what, I want Mother 3 too, but it's not up to me. Because, like, when even your old staff, want something to happen, but it just won't happen, you're doing something wrong, Nintendo. And yeah, they made it no secret to how they view their fan base sometimes, and it sucks. But where Sega is more accepting of fan projects and fan hacks, they can sometimes use it as, a way to... Go ahead.
I think that might actually be what is helping keep Sega alive at this point, is that they've actually embraced the fan community. Whereas, like Nintendo of Japan likes to fight their community. Yeah, Sega's far more embracing of it. But, it's like... But then again, Sega's not exactly in Nintendo's position, so they're just like, yeah, okay, you're making fun of Sonic? Okay, we'll join in. We'll take some pot shots and we'll acknowledge it.
It's
like,
yeah, like
you know what, Sega, you're cool.
Yeah, like, being willing to poke fun at yourself is great.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, you do make some missteps, but you're pretty cool sometimes.
Right. Meanwhile, Nintendo is like, oh, what's this? You're sharing our soundtrack with the world? DMC! Like...
Yeah, well, but again, yeah, and that's like, it's frustrating, but it's like, again, like, copyright in Japan is not the same as copyright here in America, so that's why they were able to get away with a lot of stuff that they would not be able to get away with over here. So it's just, it sucks, but, unfortunately, you have to kind of play by Japan's rules. and their rules are very much behind.
Yeah, they are. Chuck has said it once perfectly, and I keep quoting that to this day, is that Nintendo in some ways is very stuck in the 90s. And even today, I'd say that's very true. Yeah, they're more willing to work with, publishers making more adult games. Like, don't get me started on Xenoblade, because while Monolith Soft is a second-party developer for Nintendo right now, they are allowed to get away with a lot of, adult themes. Like, it does... Xenoblade 2, for all its faults, in my opinion, does address things like mental health and PTSD and very heavy themes. And I will always say this, what Xenoblade 2 gets right, it gets very right. Gameplay notwithstanding, in my opinion. But, it's super frustrating because as a Nintendo fan, I expect Nintendo to be able to, keep up with the times and, be more inclusive with other games. Like, there's a reason why people love Metroid, the Metroid series. Even Metroid Dread, the most recent iteration. Because, people love Samus. Like, we've grown way more accepting of female protagonists, and, it's bizarre because Samus was among the first female protagonists in gaming history since way back when in the 80s. And there was a reason why people didn't like her portrayal in Other M, because, it was an honest-to-God misstep on Yoshio Sakamoto's part. And you know what? He himself acknowledged it. Why can't the rest of Nintendo be like that?
Crystal Star says, I think there's a few themes they would have to change in Mother 3, like the part where you go into the hot springs with one of the Magypsies, and a few other things in the game.
Actually, on the note of Mother 3, it has adult story elements too. I don't remember all the details, but there was this project I was a part of where, they were doing, like, a full fan dub of Mother 3, and I think I was one of the characters. I don't even remember who I was. But one of the first things that happened is, Lucas and Klaus's mom got killed, and their father lashed out at everyone around him and got sent to prison for it. Like, that is some heavy shit.
Yeah. That guy Mark, tangentially related note, but how are you feeling about the new Harry Potter game coming out? I don't care.
I don't care either. Like, J.K. Rowling and everything she does is dead to me now.
Like I'm not even really saying that as like, boo Harry Potter or something, like, because yeah, I'm not a fan of what J.K. Rowling has been saying either, but I still enjoy the Harry Potter movies every now and again. But I don't know. Even after seeing the trailer, I'm just kind of like, whatever. Which is weird. You think something like that I definitely would be on board with, but I'm just kind of, I don't really care. So
yeah.
It doesn't matter to me personally. So yeah.
Yeah. Although sometimes not caring about something is way worse than hating it.
Let's see. Yeah, the one about putting down a revolution of the underclass controlled by greedy goblins whose developing lead is an actual neo-Nazi. It's like,
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, it's like, yeah, that is something I will say I definitely have noticed with some of these what's mostly I've seen this more so with the Fantastic Beasts movies.
Oh, great.
Because I remembered I saw the first Fantastic Beasts.
So did I.
And
yeah.
I actually didn't think that was too bad. Like, it's like, okay, it takes place in the Harry Potter universe, but it's, different time period, different characters and stuff. So it's like, okay, it's not going to be, wizarding school and magic and whimsy. This is going to be a little bit more adult. But you know what? It wasn't too bad. It's like, okay, I can see where this is going. Then you get to the second movie, and now it's like... And now you're trying to drag fucking politics into this now, and it's like... Oh god, no. Like, don't get me wrong. Harry Potter, even the old movies, have always had some kind of like political leanings, but it was handled very subtly, at least at first. You know, once Voldemort came in, it was very obvious he's Wizard Hitler. You know, it's very obvious at that point. But but prior to that, the way they handled some of those kind of political messages was actually very subtle. And I was like, okay, that's pretty cool. But now it's like, no, now J.K. Rowling's like, it's got to be in your fucking face now. And it's like, you know, like we don't understand fucking nuance in a goddamn fantasy series. So it's just like,
I mean,
I'm just like, It's like, yeah, I know Fantastic Beasts have definitely, you know, become kind of guilty in that one. That's like, I know there's another, the next movie for that is coming out. Again, I don't fucking care.
Rehire Johnny Depp.
It's not even that. I just, again, it's like, I don't care about where that series is going. If Johnny Depp came back, I still would not care.
Yeah.
You're trying to build on the whole Dumbledore being gay thing. I still don't care. I do not care about Fantastic Beasts. So it's like,
yeah,
that's where I'm very indifferent to that. That's like, I care more about the goddamn Sonic movie coming out right now.
Like, yeah, I don't care about that series either, but I just also wanted to remind people, Johnny Depp did nothing wrong. He's a good boy and didn't deserve anything that happened to him. But in the context of Harry Potter, if you want it even more ruined for you, if you establish an entire secret society on one school, then realistically, it's not going to be kept a secret anymore because, you know, many people would have found out how it worked by now.
Right.
And, like, Hogwarts is at the center of everything, and I mean everything in the series, and it kind of gets ridiculous with how important it is. Which, yeah, politics were an important facet of the later books, but they still paled in comparison to, you know, Hogwarts. Oh, yeah, not to mention, you mentioned Fantastic Beasts. There was a point when, you know, people went to Hogwarts, you know, which is said to be immune to any teleportation spells like apparating, and they found themselves apparating into Hogwarts. Keep track of your lore, you motherfuckers. Sorry, chat. We've been, scrolling over you. Speaking of the Sonic movie, seen it recently. Oh! Cool.
Okay. Yeah, that guy Mark. It's a consequence of J.K. Rowling's neo-lib UK-centric worldview, same as the whole sustained institutional slavery. That's where it's like,
Yikes.
yeah, it's gotten weird.
I still remember when she tried to appropriate Native American folklore, specifically skinwalking. Like, I am the first to admit that there are a lot of things I am never willing to touch when I make another fantasy series after Phantom of the Forest, or even during Phantom of the Forest. And I made a promise to myself to never take anything from Native American mythology, because it is sacred to the Native American people, and I don't want to disrespect them in any way. So, while I do have
yeah, and it's like, you know, you could kind of make that argument with really any mythology. You know, it's like, you know, that being said, if you're going to do your research.
Exactly, but I don't know. I guess it's the Blackfoot in me, but you know, stepping on the toes of a culture is one thing. Appropriating something that is considered sacred to them is another thing. Like, if you're going to reference something, do your research, yeah, but also do it with a fuck ton of grace, and make sure you have, you know, consultants if you can get them. Otherwise, go crazy or not at all. But the main thing is, yeah, understand what you're doing first before you adapt anything to it. Um,
And above all, don't listen to Twitter feedback.
exactly. Like,
Twitter does not understand a lot of fucking concepts when it comes to goddamn research. I mean, that's like take like Critical Role for example. That's like, yeah, the campaign they're in right now, like
yeah, Marquette.
yeah, Marquette, you know. Yeah, it's definitely not a European-based setting, but Matthew Mercer has, you know, gone out of his way and he said that he's talked with consultants, he's done a lot of research and such to try and, you know, build up the world of Marquette, you know, to, you know, give it respect and shit.
Yeah.
And there's still assholes on Twitter that are saying, you know, oh, he shouldn't do it because he's white.
Like, oh my
Like
god.
yeah, like you have no right to talk about anything because you're white. You know, only people from that religion or from that region or that ethnicity are allowed to talk about themselves. So it's like, so you're telling people they can what they can and cannot do because of the color of their skin or their ethnicity or their orientation. It's like, oh, what is this backwards fucking logic?
Yeah, like, I was literally about to bring that up in case you weren't,
Yeah.
but,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's where it's like
Matthew Mercer...
It's amazing how, like, these freaking Twitter mobs, like, they go virtue signaling and preaching about, like, you know, inclusion and anti-racism and stuff, and and some of the shit that they say is some of the most racist, intolerant shit, and they're completely blind to it. So it's just like, what the fuck, guys?
Yeah, it's like, what do you want? And also, there's this comedian who came to my college, you know, during our orientation, and his name was Matt Golwacki. And one of the things is, I want to live in a world that's like kindergarten, not a tolerant world. People on Twitter want to live in a tolerant world where it's like, you know, you keep your head down and don't try new things. And you also, you know, don't ask for help if there's something you don't understand, which Matthew Mercer, the good boy he is, did for a very long time with the Marquette campaign. And it's like, you're still giving him shit despite the fact that he consulted hundreds of people to, you know, world build properly and make sure that the lore is correct. And they also they cherry-picked several quote-unquote problems that, you know, for the Marquette party. Basically, oh, none of them are from Marquette, and they're all foreigners, and it's like, okay, Matt isn't an idiot. He is a masterful storyteller, and the fact that he went out of his way to make sure that he got all of his facts straight before, you know, creating his world, should tell you the dedication that he has for, you know, storytelling. And you still find that reason enough to give him shit for it. Like, okay. Clearly you're the experts.
Right. That's where it's like, and I know, and it's just sad. I mean, it's like, I use Twitter. I like to repost stupid shit, like, just in the hopes of making some of your people laugh. Or at the very least be like, hey, next Curse of Strahd session's coming up in a couple of hours. Like, you know, do some advertising like that. And that's literally it. You know, it's like, if there was a better alternative to Twitter, I would be all for it. Mm-hmm. But there unfortunately isn't, because damn near every fucking social media outlet has got its share of idiots like that. So it's like, you can't escape it. They're fucking everywhere now. It's just like... Mm-hmm. We unfortunately have to live with it. We shouldn't have to, but we do.
Ooh, this was nice. But yeah. That guy Mark. I've been reading the Savage World source book for Deadlands, the Wild West setting, which is interesting since it's an alternate timeline. Interestingly, their culture persists past in the in-universe apocalypse because of a powerful magic field around their homes. Yeah, didn't Critical Role do, a short series, kind of like that? Like, I think it was called Undeadwood. I never finished watching it.
I honestly don't know. I've never heard of, the Savage Worlds. I've never heard of that.
Um. Yeah. Apparently, it's
Like, is that like, yeah, like, is that like a whole nother tabletop game, or is that
I
kind of
think
like
it is.
or is that like another like source book, kind of like Grim Hollow? Like, yeah, what is that?
From what I can, Savage Worlds is my favorite system. Uh, it is. Yeah. It's a different system.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Um. Which
I know we've tossed like I know we've tossed around the idea of like trying out some other tabletops things. Like, I mean, we'll always keep playing D&D, but trying out some other systems, even if it's for like one shots or something. It's just, yeah, which ones?
Yeah, like Pathfinder and Call of Cthulhu are definitely on my to-do list. Pathfinder mainly because I wanted to see why people liked it so much, and also Call of Cthulhu because there is a little sick part of me that does love Lovecraftian horror.
Right. And nothing wrong with liking Lovecraft.
Yeah.
It's like, it's like again, I know we shouldn't keep having to fall back on, bitching about this shit, but it's like I'm pretty much like at that point where it's like, because I know there's people that they say, just because like, an artist, is problematic, they're all like, oh, we should like, ban everything they do. And it's like, yeah, good fucking luck, because that ain't gonna fucking happen. And you know what? It's perfectly fine to enjoy somebody's art and disapprove of the artist. Like,
Yeah.
Lovecraft is a fucking perfect example. Yeah, Lovecraft, not a great guy. But
No.
my God, the shit he came up with was fucking genius. There's a reason we still love it. He says instead of using a D20 for skills, you use all of your dice.
Yeah.
Yeah, so a success is always a 4, but your skill goes from D4 to D6 to D8 to D12. So
That's
it's okay.
cool.
So also, it's. I mean, yeah, D&D uses multiple dice too, but at the same time, I mean, it's like you're not realistically using all the dice. You have like a D20 and maybe like another set depending on what class you're in, and that's mostly what you focus on.
Sorry,
So it
that
sounds
was
like-
my
so it
client
sound-
just now.
Oh,
No,
okay.
they just want me to change
But-
a tiny detail about the mask. Go ahead.
No, no problem. But it kind of sounds like with Savage Worlds, it sounds like it's a system that actually encourages more use of using all the dice. Like, am I reading that right?
Seems like it. If so, that's cool. Especially like if you get more as you level up. I know Call of Cthulhu uses percentile die, so we can actually finally use those fucking dice. Like, the thing that looks like a D20 but is not a D10 but not a D10.
Yeah, because all the numbers are in
Uh-huh.
increments of 10.
Yeah, like the one dice that we've haven't been using for Call of Cthulhu, I think we do have to use them. Though the trick is, I think you roll that dice and then the percentage indicates how successful or how shitty you do a task. And it also, yeah, it uses a skill-based system like D&D does, but not in the way you expect. Like, you pump more into what your character is, good at. Like, you could be an engineer or a doctor, and you'd pump skills into it. But, yeah, the percentages ultimately determine how well you perform those tasks. Which can lead to some pretty stupid results because, I think it was Ashley Birch who was in that one-shot, that Call of Cthulhu one-shot that Critical Role did. It's a really good one-shot. You should watch it.
Okay.
Taliesin Jaffe was the dungeon master for it. Which is appropriate considering that he is an eldritch god in human form, but No, she was trying to get the lights working, and she was struggling hard because she was rolling like shit. You know, so even in Call of Cthulhu, a scary, spooky game, you can still get some hilarious results like that.
That guy Mark says you go from unskilled, a D4 with a -2 modifier,
Oh,
to getting
ew.
plus X modifiers on a D12. Of course, the protagonists are also called wild cards, so they get a D6 added as an alternate choice for every roll. So, for example, you roll a D4 and a D6, and you choose the one that performs better.
Interesting. Yeah. Okay, you know what? That doesn't really sound so bad to me either. Hang on, let me double check the name of the setting. Deadlands. Definitely something to add to a list. You know what? I'm gonna write it down before I forget. Okay, so I'm on my phone for this. TTRPGs to try. Oh, hello, Skellige. Deadlands. Call of Cthulhu.
Yeah, he said Mark is saying look up Savage Worlds Adventure Edition.
Savage Worlds Adventure Edition, okay.
Yeah, he says look up that one first.
Savage Worlds Adventure Edition. And I think we're gonna try Pathfinder 1E over 2E because I think there's some things about Pathfinder 2nd Edition that not a lot of people are a fan of, I'm guessing. Although I have seen the character artwork for Pathfinder, like, it's some gorgeous stuff. Very stylized. Which is definitely up my alley.
Okay.
It's also where, well, Percy's original class came from, the Gunslinger. Which, yeah, Matthew Mercer sort of adapted into a homebrew fighter subclass, but in Pathfinder, it was just its own class. Yeah, Matt just basically converted it from Pathfinder to fit in D&D. Which, I don't know, looking at it, it doesn't seem my cup of tea because it seems a little bit too technical for me, but if you're the technical sort, yeah, give Gunslinger a shot. You can find it on DM's Guild, on Matthew Mercer's page.
Okay.
The main thing I'm not a fan of is that there is a chance for your gun to misfire, which, well, it's exactly as it sounds. It has a chance to, like, screw up on you, and if you fail a tinkering check to fix it, then basically you're shit out of luck until you can repair it outside of combat. Although, it also has different properties, like, well, loading, obviously, and ammunition, but it also has, things like a recoil, and, the misfire can actually, damage you at certain intervals, which is also not fun, but, yeah. I think at this point it's well established that Taliesin Jaffe plays the super weird characters in all the D&D campaigns, because I don't know him very much, admittedly, but I can at least tell that out of all of Matt's players, he's the one with the most experience. Because, you know, he plays off-the-wall classes all the time. I think the only time where he doesn't do that is in a Critical Role with his second character, Caduceus, who's a Death Domain cleric. No, Grave Domain. Wait, is it Death or Grave? I forget.
I know they're both a thing.
I think Caduceus is a Grave Domain cleric?
I think he was, if I recall correctly.
Okay, I trust you. Oh, there's daggers on her arms too. Okay. Knew I was missing a detail.
Yeah, Caduceus, he was grave.
Okay. Yeah, I thought it had something to do with death. I was just forgetting which it was. I need to finish watching Campaign 2. I know Campaign 3 is going on right now, but I will admit I've kind of stopped watching it after a while. It's not that I wasn't interested, it's just, I couldn't really devote time to it anymore because, it comes on so late for us.
Right. Yeah. Again, like, at least looking on 5e tools, like, the difference between, like, the death and the grave domain is, like, the death domain is pretty much necromancer. It's just a necromancer cleric. They're all about, like, killing everything and raising forces of the undead, whereas the grave domain, they're more focused on, protecting the balance and, protecting, life and death are equally important. We should not be, like, disrupting graves, don't desecrate, don't, all that stuff. Like, that's more so, like, they were more the protection. Like, they were more protecting of, like, of grave sites and respecting the dead.
Exactly. They're, sort of like the, wardens of life and death. That doesn't mean they represent death totally, but they
absolutely they respect it.
Yeah, as a natural part of life.
Yeah, whereas, like, death clerics are more like, it's like, ooh, more bodies. Give me more bodies.
So in very, very, very simple terms, a worse necromancer. But yeah. Although among the homebrewed materials that Matthew Mercer made, I'm still wanting to try Blood Hunter at some point. I know Dr. Crafty hates the fuck out of it. Because in his opinion, there isn't a lot of things that rewards the player for being a Blood Hunter. While Order of the Lycan is the best subclass that it has, basically you can turn into a Lycan, and you have, like, different perks and also some drawbacks. The fact that you have to damage yourself to do certain things is a very risky thing that he feels doesn't get paid off very well. I'm gonna go with the trust and verify approach, and I want to see if there is something about the class that can be managed. But even so, I'm not gonna play a Blood Hunter who's, like, the basic Mollymock archetype. Not even just the stereotypical edgelord who goes like, "Ugh, my pain is my power." But rather, I want to play my Blood Hunter as a sweetheart. It's just he has these horrific abilities about him.
Right.
Because, if you confine a class to a morality system or a character archetype, then you're just limiting yourself, and not a lot of people are willing to go for it. I will admit, though, I'm having trouble imagining what subclass I would pick if I were to go Blood Hunter. And even then, it's mainly for experimentation purposes. It's not a class I'm willing to pick out first, but if I was given the choice, I would go for it. So call it curiosity.
Okay.
Although I will say, if Blood Hunter's Hemocraft, which is, what it uses to calculate, things like blood maledicts and blood curses, if it had the Grim Hollow Sangromancer wizard, their full-blooded feature, then I think they would be a lot more digestible, because what full-blooded basically allows blood wizards to do is basically to pull from a pool of d12s to use in place of your actual hit dice. If blood hunters had that, then I think they would feel more approachable. That being said, I think that's going to be another homebrew of ours. You know, blood hunters get a pool of D somethings. You don't have to sacrifice your own health for it. Which, if it was just a law of equivalent exchange or whatever, then that would be fine, but I think I will agree in saying that depending on what kind of health you rolled, you could potentially accidentally kill yourself as a blood hunter. In fact, I think Mollymock died because, you know, he got blood maledict. As in blood maledict with an apostrophe and a D. By someone else who was also a blood hunter. If it wasn't for that, Molly would have still been alive. So basically TF2 medic. I think so, if they function in the same way. Oh, wait, what was this in relation to? Okay. Okay, I think at this point, how long have we been going? Almost 3 hours, nice. Is there anything I'm missing? I forgore. It's fine. I forgore too.
Yeah.
Mass decals. Anyway.
I guess, like, a random question, like, we might have talked about this. I don't remember if we did or not, but, like, you know, I know our plan is when we're done with Curse of Strahd, we're gonna go into the abode and stuff. But, like, have there been, like, are there other modules that you'd like to DM for us after Curse of Strahd?
I know Waterdeep Dragon Heist is definitely on the table. Although, I definitely do not want to jump into the abode straight after Curse of Strahd. Like, I don't know if that came across very well, but I definitely don't want to jump into the abode soon after Curse of Strahd. Like, I do not have the mental fortitude for it right now. But
oh no, I imagine, like, when we're done with Curse of Strahd, okay, we gotta, like, we gotta give you a bit of a break. Mm-hmm. Because I think also, because not only that, I think Boone wants to run a campaign taking place in Ravnica.
Yeah, like...
So I know he wants to do that. I don't know if that's something he just wants to do specifically for his channel, or, you know, do we want to try streaming it on SMG? I don't know. But I remember him saying
we'll have
that,
to talk more extensively on that.
Yeah, but I remembered him saying that, yeah, he wants to do a Ravnica campaign. I've already made my character for it. And I think it's just, at this point now, it's just, all right, Boone, when do you want to do this? So, I mean, it's like...
more details, please.
Yeah, so, I mean, for all we know, he may be like, let's wait till Curse of Strahd is done. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. Some more communication is definitely warranted on everyone's parts.
Yeah, but it's just, but back to the topic at hand, it's just, there's a lot of modules. There's a lot of books.
Really good ones, too.
Right. Well, that's the thing. It's like, I guess, like, I'd have to, like, watch some videos or do some research or something to be like, okay, outside of Curse of Strahd, what are some other books? Because, like, it just seems like, I don't know if this is necessarily the case or whatever, just because, again, I'm still very new to D&D. I've only been playing this for, like, 2 years now?
Holy
but
shit,
it's like,
been 2 years?
Just about. I mean, we spent about a year on the abode, and now we're on Curse of Strahd. But that's, like, I've noticed, like, since you introduced me and brought me into this game, that it's like, they're releasing books all the time.
Yeah, like, their most recent adventure is, Strixhaven. But...
Like, yeah, like, there was Strixhaven, there was, something with the Feywild, that was a whole nother module. Tasha's Cauldron of Everything just came out.
That's more of a supplement than it is a module, but yeah.
Yeah, but like being a module or a supplement, it just seems like they're releasing tons of books. I know they've been releasing Critical Role related stuff. So
yeah,
it's like,
they just came out with Tal'Dorei Reborn, I think.
yeah, so it just seems like they're just cranking shit out quickly. I mean, has that always been the case?
I think you know, live shows like Critical Role have definitely helped see the rise of D&D as a hobby. But it definitely wasn't like this when 4th edition came out, let me tell you. 5th edition was sort of in its infancy, and then, you know, Geek and Sundry, I'm not saying they're the ones who, you know, popularized it ultimately, but they did definitely help when they made Critical Role. Geek and Sundry wanted to do a live show like some other shows, but the main twist is we're doing it with the voice actors. You know, like Matthew Mercer and all of his friends. Yeah, I would say that Critical Role definitely helped with the rise in popularity of Dungeons & Dragons as a game. That being said, I know I mentioned Waterdeep Dragon Heist as a module to play. That's a really good one, I hear. It's definitely not a swords and sorcery sort of adventure, but definitely more like along the lines of a heist adventure. Like, think Uncharted or Sly Cooper.
Ooh, that sounds fun.
Yeah, that definitely sounds a lot of fun. Which, funny,
Like, as soon as you mention Uncharted and Sly Cooper, I'm sold. Yeah, it's like, oh, I'm there. If you ever say we're doing that, I'm fucking there.
Right, yeah. So glad you approve. But there's also Rime of the Frost Maiden, which is one of the more recent ones. Rime of the Frost Maiden is sort of like a winter apocalypse sort of setting where, yeah, you go around the frigid regions of the Forgotten Realms, you know, just trying to survive, and then you get wrapped up in this plot surrounding, well, the eponymous Frost Maiden, Ulriel. She's this, I believe she's a heathen goddess who thrust the land into perpetual winter and has to be stopped. Although there's these features that surrounds like secrets that your character has, like maybe they're infected with some sort of, I think a mind flayer tadpole, which is gross. There's also some things related to their backstory, like maybe they murdered someone, and there's also like a whole set of, you know, winter survival tables where depending on where you are, like if you're in a blizzard, then you'll have to make some rolls just to get through the event. So it's super detailed and definitely for dungeon masters who've been at this for a while. Although it definitely evokes stories like, you know, I don't really know many winter survival sort of things, but I think there is a genre called frostpunk, something like that. It also evokes, you know, stories like The Thing because of the freaky shit that you can find there. Like, I think at some point you actually do come across some very alien-looking stuff.
Okay.
So, yeah. It's more surrounding survival than, again, swords and sorcery.
Okay. That sounds cool.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, as for the other modules, some are also some real stinkers, according to people like XP Level 3. Like,
we keep getting them mixed up. What's the tomb that you're saying sucks?
the Tomb of Horrors.
Okay, we keep getting that mixed up with Tomb of Annihilation.
Yeah,
so it's
Tomb
like,
of
yeah,
Annihilation is the good one.
Okay, yeah, remind me which is the one that sucks.
Yeah, Tomb of Horrors is the one that sucks. Reason being, it's mainly a torture porn dungeon made by Gary Gygax. It's not like not literal, but more like in the sense of, hey, let's see how far you can get before you fucking die. It's definitely a DM versus the players sort of format, and that's not the way 5e rolls anymore. It's like, yeah, we can definitely play it if we're super bored, and just to see how far we can get, and see how far we can break it, but I wouldn't play it seriously. Because you're not supposed to, anyway, but that doesn't make it fun.
Yeah, so it's like, okay, it's like, just buy a fuck ton of dynamite and just blow everything up.
Yeah, a Serac just gets blown up, and then boom, that's the end of the story.
It's like I don't even know what the story behind Tomb of Horrors is or anything, but I mean, if it's just, don't take it seriously, okay, just blow it up.
Yeah, you're basically just tomb raiding, you're basically just tomb raiding a very dangerous lich's treasure hoard, and it's like, when you do find the real lich, it's you gotta stop him from resurrecting, but that's really on the sidelines, because the thing with Tomb of Horrors is that it has a fucking fake ending. I'm not kidding. It has a fake ending, and the Dungeon Master is supposed to say, like, while giving this bullshit countdown that, oh, the temple's collapsing, you gotta get out, and then you're supposed to say at the end of the escape sequence, wasn't that dungeon super hard, guys? Word for word, that's what you're supposed to say.
Oh my god.
But no, the real Acererak is actually deeper in the dungeon. You just gotta explore it a little bit. But good luck trying to figure out how to do this shit, because while there are poems that, you know, gives you hints on as to what to do, you have to have some 5D brain nodules to even figure out how to interpret them. Because some of the hints are just plain bad. Specifically in the first, major room in the dungeon, where you're supposed to, you know, navigate the hallway and not fall into those, spike traps. And, in first edition, they were poisoned, and poison in first edition means basically you're dead. Like, there was no such thing as a Constitution saving throw. It's just like, if you're poisoned, you're dead. In like the 5e adaptation, though, you know, which can be found in the Tales of the Yawning Portal supplement, you can do con saves, but it still retains some other elements of the dungeon that sucks, where basically if everyone fails their saving throw, you get TPK'd. And you can't save from it. It just happens.
Ooh. That guy Mark says, Tomb of Annihilation has the highest character per player ratio by volume. We accidentally found the real Lich when we ran it for the first time. I bullied him by shoving his face into his own orb of annihilation until he died.
That's definitely a way to beat the final boss, but
okay.
Although
yeah, be right back. I'm gonna use the restroom real quick.
Okay. Although, correct me if I'm wrong, and I can tell Danny about this when she comes back, but doesn't the Tomb of Annihilation module also take place in what was the region called? Cholt? I think it's a jungle region, right? Yep, I believe it's called Cholt. Yeah. Are there any other modules that we're forgetting? Because I know Strixhaven is up next, but I want to save that for a little bit. which is funny because we were talking about Harry Potter just now. And the thing with Strixhaven, I can tell you right now, chat, is that it's miles better than Harry Potter. Because, yeah, it is in an academic setting, and you are potentially all kids, or at least the players are encouraged to play as kids going through their school years. And you have, like, you know, all these games that you can actually throw your spellcasting into to help you win, and there's also these curriculums and tests that you have to do that are really, really cool. I don't know a lot about 5e. I know about Savage Worlds, though. Right, okay, so would you say that's your favorite tabletop setting, then? I guess we commonly go into D&D 5e mainly because that's where most of us were introduced to. That's what we were introduced to. I know I was introduced to 5e. Oh, you're back. Awesome. So, yeah, for Tomb of Annihilation, it takes place in the jungle region of Cholt. So, I'm guessing that Tomb of Annihilation has this sort of jungle adventure theme going on. While, yeah, it still has the, you know, dungeon delving, you know, theme that Tomb of Horrors did. In fact, Tomb of Annihilation is actually the sequel to Tomb of Horrors, but difference is it's actually better. Yeah, there's, like, jungles, dinosaurs, and evil liches. And the most recent one, Strixhaven, it's less of a D&D adventure and more of, like, a Harry Potter roleplay fantasy. Because, yeah, you play as these kids who go to this, you know, wizard school called Strixhaven. And throughout the campaign, your students, you know, just going about their daily lives, being students. Occasionally you do have to fight some baddies, but that's not the only thing you do. You can actually do tests and, you know, do all these exams throughout your curriculum, and you can there's even a method to, like, cram for your test. And you can also use spells for, like, these Quidditch-esque games, and it's really interesting.
Okay. Yeah, because that's, like, you know, it's like, yeah, because, like, the whole concept, like, you know, oh, yes, you're doing school stuff, but then you're also doing, you know, uncovering the mysteries and fighting the baddies and shit, and it's like, my first thought goes to Persona. Because that is pretty much what the Persona series is. It's like, you know, yes, you're fighting the shadows and you're doing, you know, whatever the plot is in that game. Like, you know, you're climbing Tartarus in Persona 3. You're trying to solve a murder mystery in Persona 4. You're trying to change people's hearts in Persona 5. But all the while, yeah, you still have to go to school. You still gotta, like, study for tests. You still gotta participate in extracurricular activities. Like, you have to maintain a normal fucking social life.
Right. You know, Strixhaven is kind of like that then, from what I can gather. And yeah, the cool thing about it is that, it's more of like a slice of life campaign than it is, you know, a stereotypical D&D adventure where you have to stop a legion of dragons.
Okay. Yeah, so if you're the kind of people that you enjoy more of the role playing, that'll be up your alley.
To a point, yeah, because again, you still have to go to school as the character, and they actually do give you a set of rules for it, and you can even pass or fail, and you can do things, you know, related to that.
Maniac asks, now the big question. How do you work Frank into it?
Leave that to me. Frank is my boy. Working him into the campaigns is my job.
In the case for Strixhaven, I think the obvious choice is he's the cafeteria guy.
Yeah, exactly. He's the cafeteria guy. He serves hot dogs and sausages for the hungry children.
It's like, yeah, that's kind of a given.
Yeah, like, put Frank into any food scenario and he'll fit perfectly. Because again, despite how crazy he seems, he is a nice lizard. He cares about people. He wants to see them happy and fed. Just don't bring up buns around him. They killed his family. But yeah, in the way of modules, that's all I can really think of on the top of my head, really.
Okay.
Well, okay. There are a couple, but they're more of like introductory ones. Well, this is the only one I'm really thinking of, but there's this one I think that comes with the D&D starter kit called The Lost Mines of Phandelver. And basically, you're this party that goes into the Lost Mines of Phandelver to help find a buddy of this dwarf. And that's basically it. Really good if you want to get kids into D&D because of its super simple plot, but
Yeah.
not something that we have any use for.
Mark asks, Dungeon of the Mad Mage?
Dungeon of the Mad Mage, I'm not familiar with that. Yeah, I'm not too familiar with that, actually. Hold on. Is that the sequel to Dragon Heist? Because I heard that one is actually pretty bad. Where basically you go underground, of, water, the city of Waterdeep, and, yeah, basically you have to dungeon crawl until you find the big bad and then kill him. Which kind of sucks because, the main, Dragon Heist campaign was so well done, and it's like, why would you take a step backwards like that? Which, cool thing is, the thing with D&D is that, you can do whatever you want, and I think with that in mind, we don't have to play the sequel. Or at the very least, we can take, one of us could take elements from it and then make it actually work in the context of Waterdeep.
Mark says, no clue. I got little experience with 5e outside homebrew.
Hang on, let me rock 5e tools. Dungeon of... Yes, it's, the sequel to, Waterdeep Dragon Heist. Waterdeep Dungeon of the Mad Mage. Holy shit, this thing has 23 levels in it. No thanks. And yeah, the cool thing about Dragon Heist, though, is that it's a super short campaign. In fact, it takes characters from 1st level to 5th level. So it's a really good short campaign to play. But yeah, for Dungeon of the Mad Mage, it takes you all the way from 5th level to 20th level. Holy shit. The fact that you're underground the whole time, it doesn't really sound all that fun. I only know about it because it's one of the dungeons you can use in Magic the Gathering. Okay. But yeah, another one I've heard some less than stellar things about is The Rise of Tiamat. Like, you can just guess what the plot of it is. Go ahead, guess. can't really remember what the criticisms are at the moment, but essentially, as an adventure, from what I can guess, where you're supposed to stop Tiamat from rising again, is not as exciting as it sounds. So, yeah. Lately, all the D&D modules have been really, really good. It's just, yeah, in the past, there have been a couple stinkers. Curse of Strahd is still one of the best, if not the best right now. With Waterdeep being close second.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, I can tell you, I'm having a ball with Curse of Strahd. I'm loving it.
Yeah, I'm glad. And yeah, most of the plot developments are homebrewed. Well, that's kind of the point of, a campaign, isn't it? Like, the module just gives you different ideas to roll off of, and then, you draw your own conclusions, basically. Okay. Let me double check where we are in terms of time. Okay, so we're 3 hours into this. Oh, God, this reminds me of a custom campaign I'd love to make if I knew how, based off of the Binding of Isaac game.
I remembered. Yeah, I mean, like you were looking into seeing if you can make that happen.
Yeah. Again, my only advice to you as a dungeon master who took the wrong approach of being a dungeon master, which is hitting the ground running, and doing a homebrew campaign, do your research. I would definitely recommend being a player first. Like, getting into campaigns as a player, get some player experience with different classes, and then if you feel up for it, go ahead and, start doing your homework on dungeon mastering. But, yeah. I think at this point we're gonna call it. I think we've gotten plenty of progress done on our client's character pride here. I think we'll pick this up tomorrow, and maybe we'll even move on to the next commission that I got. Yeah, I actually got two commissions. The second one is actually by Jen again, so that should be fun. But yeah, we'll see you guys tomorrow night.